This is Berwick football coach Carm DiFrancesco. You are listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio HLM.
Berwick Bulldog football.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick.
HLM.
It's the opening night of the 2021 high school football season. If you're a fan of high school football, you have your fingers crossed that we have a return to normalcy this season. Maybe not, but at least we're starting on time. You remember last year we missed the first 2 weeks of the season. There are issues. There have been some games or some teams not able to go this week because of COVID. I mentioned Berwick's situation, 4 players in quarantine. Southern Columbia's kicker, Isaac Carter, is out of there. He's in quarantine, so maybe it's too much to ask for a completely normal season, but we are kicking off on time, and that's a great sign as Berwick gets set to take on Southern Columbia here at Jim Roth Field in Tiger Stadium. The starting lineup offensively for the Bulldogs. The tight end will be number 4, Spencer Kishbaugh. He is a 6'3", 195-pound junior. When Berwick goes with 2 tight ends, we'll see number 8, Taiji Taylor, a 6'3", 200-pound senior, terrific player on the defensive side. In fact, the leading returning tackler from a year ago. The left tackle, number 73, Gavin Cunningham. He is 6 foot, 210, a senior. The left guard is a sophomore, number 78, Liam Carroll. Now, he's only 5'8", 190, but the coaches really like him. In fact, they said he had a couple of pancake blocks against Whitehall in that preseason scrimmage. The center is back from a year ago. Saw some starting action last year. Number 65, Bruce Hartman. He's 6'1", 215, a junior. A freshman starts at right guard. He is number 60, Chase Shuckers, 5'11", 220 pounds. Xander Unger is a senior right tackle. He wears number 70. He is 6'3", 265 pounds. At the wide receiver positions, we'll see number 7, Dre Wilk, 5'11", 175-pound junior. They really missed him a year ago. Got hurt very early in the season. Missed the rest of the season. He is a good wide receiver. He is a terrific safety. They're glad to have him at least to start the season. We'll also see number 20, Braden Boone. He's their leading receiver, returning 11 catches last year for 140 yards. Braden is a 5'10", 145-pound senior. And we'll also see number 6, Rowan Slabinski. He is a 6'3", 200-pound junior. The quarterback is number 12, Matt Lunzinski. He is 6'1", 205, a junior. Saw action last year. Started one game when Benny Knorr was injured. On the season, just 10 for 23, 126 yards. Did have 3 picks, but he went through the whole summer as their quarterback. Went through all the 7-7s, and they really like his ability. Physical kid, played some linebacker a year ago. He'll be strictly a quarterback this season, Matt Lunzinski. At the running back spot, with Benny Knorr slated to be the tailback and not available tonight, we'll see number 5, Ryan Bankus, a 5'7", 150-pound junior, had 10 carries a year ago. And we'll also see a very talented freshman who will start at safety on defense, number 2, Bo Sheptock. He is the son of assistant coach Sean Sheptock. Bo is 5'10", 165 pounds. When they do use a fullback, it was going to be Aiden Mason. He is not available tonight. So we'll see James DeAndra. They really liked what he showed them in the summer. He's 5'11", 200 pounds, a sophomore. Looks from this vantage point even bigger than that. And he's going to see action on defense as well. So that's the starting lineup offensively for the Bulldogs. Under Carmen DiFrancesco in his 3rd season as head coach, 10-8, his record at Berwick. But it's his 25th year as a head coach overall. Had stints at Cardinal Brennan, Shamokin, Danville, Mount Carmel, and Upper Dolphin. 162 career wins, 105 losses. And Carmen DiFrancesco is the answer to a trivia question. Who is the only coach to have beaten Southern Columbia at 3 different schools? It is he. He beat them as the head coach at Danville, at Shamokin, and at Mount Carmel. And that Mount Carmel win was significant because that was the last time that Southern Columbia lost a regular season game. That was back in the 2011 season, late in that season. And since then, the Tigers have won 88 consecutive regular season games. The starters for Southern Columbia, and again, This is an offense that last year averaged 49.6 points per game and over 350 yards rushing a game. At the tight end, we'll see number 30, Ryan Kerstetter. He's 6'1", 175, a junior. If they go to double tights, we're likely to see number 87, Derek Berlitz. He is a terrific defensive end. In fact, an all-state defensive end a year ago. 6'2", 245 pounds. The left tackle, number 54, Carson Savitsky. 6'2", 250, a senior. Joe Quinton is the left guard. He's 6 foot, 200 pounds, a senior. The center's number 53, Gabe Leffler, 6 foot, 195, a senior. The right guard, the only player in that offensive front tackle to tackle that did not start a year ago, Brett Horton, 5'11", 200-pound junior. And the right tackle, big Chris Treshok. We'll see some on defense as well. 6'2", 260 pounds, a junior. At the wide receiver position, we will see number 29, Jake Rose. 6'2", 195, a senior. What a terrific athlete. In the spring, he was the state champion in both the high hurdles and the 300-meter hurdles. He has caught 7 passes a year ago, averaging 17.8 yards a reception. But he figures to have a lot more catches if they decide to go to the air. He'll catch those passes from Liam Klebon. He is a 6'1", 108-pound senior quarterback. A year ago, 30 for 55 in passes for 681 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. He also ran 14 times for 59 yards, averaged 5.4 yards a carry. And Klebon probably had his best game as a quarterback in the state championship game. He was terrific in that one. The running backs, we talked about them earlier. It is speed and more speed. Number 5, Gavin Garcia. 5'9", 185 pounds, a senior. He is 5th in school history in rushing yards with an even 4,800. He has an outside chance with an outstanding senior season to move into 4th spot. On his career, 81 rushing touchdowns, 90 total touchdowns. He's had 5 receiving touchdowns, 4 return touchdowns. He is just terrific, Gavin Garcia. The fullback is number 3, Wes Barnes, 5'9", 185, a junior. There was some question whether Wes would be available to start the season. In a post-wrestling season tournament, he suffered a shoulder injury, had surgery. He is wearing a shoulder harness, but he did play in the scrimmage and will be ready to go tonight. Last year, 785 yards and 9 touchdowns, averaged 9.6 yards a carry. And the other running back in this wing team, Braden Wislowski, 5'11", 185-pound junior, all-stater last year in football, 100-meter champ in the state track meet this spring, 2nd in the 200, and he combined with Jake Rose and Gavin Garcia and the now departed Jake Davis to win the gold medal in the 400-meter relay. He is pure speed. A year ago, 13 touchdowns and averaged 10.1 yards a carry. That is the starting lineup offensively for the Tigers. And again, 9 starters back from a team that averaged 49.6 points a game last season. Tigers against the Bulldogs. Keys to tonight's game, Andy Lickney.
Well, the keys for Berwick offense, Jim, I think they have to play keep away from Southern's offense. Now, how do you do that? You're looking at Benny Knorr, who you expected to be your leading rusher. Great runner from last year. We saw his experience. He's out because of COVID. Aiden Mason, who's had that great pedigree since his freshman year, was supposed to be in the backfield. He's out. So it's going to fall to Ryan Bankus and others. And Ryan's had a total of 10 carries on his career. Now, talented, watched him in the scrim, liked what I saw. But it is a bit uphill with, your 2 projected starters to be out to try to establish the running game. And add that to a line where the guards are a sophomore and a freshman with their first starts. So what else do you do? Do you go to passing to the more experienced people? You might do that. Your quarterback, though, Matt Lonzinski, as talented as he is, he has great size, a strong arm, but he's only completed 10 passes in his career. So how experienced is that? They have some good receivers. The tight ends, Spencer Kishbaugh and and Taiji Taylor have that good height and size, and tight ends are a good place to dump that ball. I know that Carm DiFrancesco has been working the short passing game a little bit more, but some of that passing game was going to Benny Knorr. He's not there. You just fill in, next man up. Braden Boone's been sharp on the outside, too, so we'll see how they go about it. But it's going to be a little tough. The youngsters in the line going to have to develop quickly, and boy, it's trial by fire when you step in, Tiger Stadium against Southern Columbia's defense. That defense is tough. They run a 4-4 since my days. Jimmy Roth has been featuring it on his defenses. And at every level, you pretty much have some studs. 3 returners. One is defensive end Derek Berlitz, and he's a big-timer. He's going to get scholarship offers. You watch him play. He had 60 tackles from defensive end and 7 sacks. Remember, Southern Columbia starters usually only play the first half of football games, so the numbers are impressive. They like to move him down inside the defensive tackle, some like the pros do, so he doesn't face as many double teams. Go to the linebacker unit. You have Gavin Garcia. As a freshman, 106 tackles to lead the team. And he's going to be joined by a true freshman this year in Dominic Fedorov. So that has to be some tremendous talent if a freshman is going to be able to step on in like Garrett Garcia did last year and fill that inside linebacker spot. Add an outside linebacker, Jake Rose. You mentioned his track prowess, his abilities. He's very good on the outside. You can blitz him. You can play contain with him. You can play him and pass. So they're going to be the anchors on which a relatively newer defense comes in. But, again, Southern plays a lot of people in the second half of games. People get a lot of experiences. People may not have been labeled as starters because you're in a 3-way rotation. It's going to be a tough defense, and Berwick's going to have its work cut out, especially with the people missing because of COVID. Flip it around into key. How do you stop the Southern Columbia's offense? It's that vaunted wing T. You have to use the modifier vaunted whenever you say it. Well, you have to when you mention Southern Columbia. You've gone through that 3-headed monster of running backs, Jim, and I'll agree, probably the 3 best unit as a unit. And Gavin Garcia, 200 yards off of 5,000 for his career. Wes Barnes and Braden Wislowski, the speedsters. Each of them's averaging close to 10 yards a carry. Which way do you go? Add in the misdirection of the wing T, the faking, the way they block for each other. Often it's a double team down at the point of attack, followed by a kickoff, which gives the offensive blocking advantages. It's a tough unit. So Berwick's defense is going to have to find a way to stop that. How do they do it? Well, no one's ever solved that in the last couple decades. No one stopped that vaunted wing T. But the theory would be you have to play your reads. Often linebackers key the guards, let them take them to the play, keep through to the backfield, but don't jump on initial movement. You have to watch not to be fooled out of position by the initial fakes. But if you stay and read too long, you're going to be blown out of there if you get caught flat-footed. So Berwick's just going to have to up their game. Young players filling in are going to have to step up and make the play. I mentioned impact players for Southern Columbia. Impact players on the Berwick defense are certainly strong. Taiji Taylor at 6'3" proved himself last year. Spencer Kishbaugh was an animal out there defensively. They're moving him back from defensive end to outside linebacker to give him more range. And, of course, at safety, Trey Wilk is there. Now, again, you're missing people because of COVID. But, that happens. They're going to have to step up and make it happen. But that's the way I see the keys of this game, Jim.
Tigers making their appearance on this, the near side of the field. Black jerseys, black pants, black helmets, white numerals with gold trim. Still waiting for Berwick to make their long trek down into the valley here as we look off to our right. The Bulldogs against the Tigers. You're listening to Berwick Football and Sports Radio, HLM.
From the land of the free, the home of the brave, wonder where it's laid in the USA. We'll never take a knee, we will always stand. We don't use sweatshirts from foreign lands. Support our troops every day. Wearing the American made underwear, by law, making strong we are. Underwear.
Underwear. No one is working harder to be your brand. S.J. Kowalski Heating and Air Conditioning sells comfort. Since 1972, S.J. Kowalski understands the importance of doing business locally. They service what they sell and take pride in customer satisfaction. S.J. Kowalski is a trained comfort specialist, a Lennox dealer, and they are Northeastern Pennsylvania's premier dealer of Mitsubishi ductless mini-split systems. S.J. Kowalski also sells and installs energy-efficient Rinnai water heaters and geothermal systems. Call 1-888-KOWALSKI and ask about special promotions and zero-interest financing.
Prices are falling on all our vehicles during the fall sell-off event happening right now at Fairfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. It's Ram Power Days, so let's talk Ram trucks. We have over 100 of them on site ready for you to drive home. And you can get 0% for 60 months plus no payments for 90 days on select 2019 Rams or lease one for just $159. Jeeps, you won't find a better selection anywhere else. Lease a 2019 Grand Cherokee Laredo or a 2019 Cherokee Limited for just $199. So don't shop the rest. Shop the best. Come see the Kaiser Boys and experience for yourself the best selection, the best prices, and the best service and parts around. Fairfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Route 405 in Muncie or Route 11 in Danville. Fairfield for the best deals.
Leases are for 24, 36, and 42 months. $34.99 due at signing. Offers on select vehicles only for qualified buyers. Only must finance through Chrysler Capital. Offers end October 31st. See dealer for complete details.
Fairfield, you're gonna love us.
This is Berwick football coach Carm DiFrancesco. You are listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio HLM.
Berwick Bulldog Football.
WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick.
HLM.
Southern Columbia 8th grader Michaela Williams. Prior to this 2021 season opener, Southern Columbia against Berwick. This game was scheduled to open the season last year. It was going to be at Berwick. In fact, it was going to be on a Saturday night. But of course, COVID caused the cancellation of the non-conference games. Berwick did scrimmage Southern Columbia. But as I mentioned earlier, first time these two teams will meet in a regular season game since 1965. Andy, there aren't a lot of people in this stadium that have seen both games. I was a sophomore at Berwick High School, 1965. I saw that game.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know how many there would be, but it's got to be a mere handful that we'd be looking at.
I mentioned some of the players that played in that game. One of them, Rich Roberts of Southern Columbia, I saw earlier tonight. So I can tell you that at least one is at both these games. The officials for this season opener, Kerry Ladshaw is the referee. The umpire is Jim Delbaugh. The linesman is Dave Reiner. Dickon Klein is the line judge. Stephen Krasuki is the back judge. The field judge is Steve Krasuki. Steve is the father, Stephen the son. So we have a father-son duo to referee. There's no major rule changes. There is one change about blocking, the cut block. And they've changed the areas where that is legal. And they've made it, in my thinking, a very, very difficult thing to judge. I had a coach in the preseason that I interviewed. He said, I don't know why they just don't get rid of the cut block to to begin with, and then take that judgment away. I mean, you just don't block below the knees, but that's not the way it's going to go. So we'll look for that one. We'll also look to see who Southern Columbia is going to have kicking off when they do kick off, because Isaac Carter was terrific a year ago, but he's out, and Berwick's without their kicker as well. It doesn't matter much for Berwick on kickoffs, because talking to Carm DiFrancesco, I said, are you going to kick deep to Wislowski and Gavin Garcia? He said no. So, and most teams don't. And it does give Southern Columbia a decided advantage with field position, but it beats giving up touchdowns.
Yeah, Bruce Hartman's lining up. I don't know if he has a tee out there. They're waiting for the ball from the officials. Now, because of all the media, we're on a tighter schedule than usual, so they'll probably hold this an extra 30 seconds. And while we have the chance, Jim, you saw the musical talent of Michaela Williams and her violin out there for the anthem. But people listening into part of the pregame might have caught the Southern Columbia Band under Joel Thomas. Very nice show, also always musically very strong. Good to see them.
Berwick white jerseys, white pants, white helmets, blue numerals, and trim. Bulldogs will be kicking off, and Southern Columbia will be moving from our left to our right as we get this season started. Not a sellout, but a very, very good crowd. In fact, a lot of people not in the bleachers, but on the banks across and to our right. As Hartman's kick gets this season underway, he loops it toward the left sideline, over the shoulder grab at the 25-yard line, and the return by Garrett Garcia.
Well, there's a guy to kick it to when you're kicking away from everybody else. Garrett Garcia, the linebacking brother of the Garcias. We've seen it running back. But he certainly has the genes to be able to run with that ball, secured it well, and brought it out to about the 33.
This is the Berwick defense we expect to see at the start. Taiji Taylor and Tristan English at the ends, Bruce Hartman and Jimmy Deandra at the tackles, Alex Hacker, Evan Meehan, Spencer Kishbaugh at the linebackers. The corners, Braden Boone and Rowan Slabinski. Dre Wilk and Bo Sheptok are the safeties. Southern Columbia from their 33-yard line. The call goes to Garcia. He gets away from a tackler and over the 37-yard line. Just 4 yards, but a power run by Garcia, who carried tacklers, including Dre Wilk, for 4 yards.
Taiji Taylor had him by the waist, but he just kept chugging, as you mentioned, not really gaining that much, but kept himself upright. Dre Wilk did come up from safety, put a lick on, and eventually they got him to the ground.
Jake Wislowski is the wide receiver to the left. Klebon, under center, gives the ball to Wislowski off the left side, breaks one tackle, and it's hit. Fumbles the football, picked up by Taiji Taylor, and Berwick gets a big break early. Wislowski gives it up on the fumble. Taylor with the recovery. Berwick in business in Southern Columbia territory.
One of those sort of wingback behind the line jet sweep actions. It looked like he was going to get outside, but the defensive end over there, I missed, had him and was able to strip the ball away. Bounced toward the far sideline where Berwick is. Taiji Taylor with great pursuit able to pick it up, and they'll have it 1st and 10.
Southern Columbia's defense will line up with Derek Berlitz and Logan Sharrow at the ends. Carson Savitsky and Austin Reeder at the tackles. Michael Zito, Dominic Fedorov, Garrett Garcia, Jake Rose at the linebackers. Get the secondary after this play. From the 37-yard line, the call goes to Bankus off the left side. He gets pretty good gain inside the 35 to the 33-yard line. The secondary for Southern Columbia, Jake Wislowski and Connor Gallagher at the corners. Ashton Helwig is the safety.
Southern had some penetration, got an arm on him in the backfield, but then the penetration created separation and a natural seam for Bankus to run through. He'll get a good 2.5 toward 3 yards on that.
2nd and 7. Slot to the left. Slabinski wide right. Sheptok goes in motion left to right. Out of the gun. They gives to Bankus again. Got a little bit of running room. Then he's wrapped up at the 33-yard line.
Fedorov coming up and bringing him down hard. We mentioned Dominic Fedorov, a true freshman. Well, in high school, they're always true freshmen. But he showed the willingness to come up, put a pop, and hold him to about 2-yard gain.
Dominic Fedorov's father, Harvey, was a terrific all-around athlete here at Southern Columbia. as Berwick faces 3rd down and 6. First 3rd down situation of the game for either team. They have it the Southern Columbia 33-yard line.
In the scrims, they like short passes.
Slot to the right side. Lunsinski has the snap. Back to throw. Fires that quick out. Has it. But a quick tackle at the 30-yard line as Sheptock made the grab. They'll pick up 3, and it's going to be 4th and 3.
And, of course, you'll go from this situation, even if you're on to 10, a field goal's out of the question without your kicker able to play because of COVID. Run-pass option, decide which way you want to go. It was the short pass. He had to go high, which stopped his momentum momentarily, so he couldn't catch it and run. Southern was able to close quickly and hold him.
Lunsinski tried it to the sideline, got the play from his coaching staff. Long time in the huddle for the Bulldogs. By the way, there are no 25-second clocks in operation in this one. One went down. Of course, they can't have the other one working for an advantage for a team. Here's the 3rd and 3. Lunsinski has the snap and a flag down.
I thought Taiji Taylor leaned forward but held his stance. But I think they're going to call 5 yards on him. I'd have probably thrown the flag. Came a tad late. Also a very slow snap coming back. The shotgun snaps have not been real crisp, and you want as a passer to get that ball and be able to look downfield, not wait for the shotgun snap and pick it up below your knees.
And that creates a punting situation for Berwick. They were going to go for it, obviously, in 4th and 3. 4th and 8, they're lined up as if to punt. That is the quarterback back there, though. He takes the snap, and he gets the kick away. Low-line drive kick. Takes a good roll where Berwick is concerned. And will go out at the 13-yard line.
I think it was Dre Wilt that they put back there, Jim. They snuck him in with that single-digit number 7. And not a bad punt. You don't want the return. You don't want it bouncing into the end zone. So while he angled it and he'd rather inside the 10, he got it inside the 15.
8:55 to go in a scoreless first quarter. Southern Columbia gets it for the second time of the game. Had just 2 plays in that first series. Lost the ball on the fumble. Wislowski on a wing to the right. Garcia and Barnes backs in an open set. Claybon from the 13. Barnes gets his first carry, breaks out of a tackle. He's over the 20 and near the first down yardage. Strong run by Wes Barnes.
Yeah, give him 10 on that. He makes the change. Berwick had a man near the line of scrimmage, get the arms on him, but couldn't hold on, and that happens a lot. Eventually, the young inside linebacker, Alex Hacker, was able to come over and push him out of bounds, but 9.5 yards will be just short of the chains.
Second down call coming. Again, Barnes and Garcia backs in an open set. Wislowski on a wing to the right. Call goes to Gavin Garcia. He has the first down and then some as he spins out near the 29-yard line. Strong effort. You know, he's so fast. He runs like a 4.43, but he is strong. He's that rare combination of the speed and power.
Yes, he does, and the knowledge as well, Jim. Game savvy. He knew he needed a half a yard. He wanted to make sure he got that to get the conversion and start a new set of downs. So he looked, saw, fought, instead of trying to make the big play, just fought for the yardage he would need to get the first down.
Jake Rose is a wide receiver to the right. There's a wing to either side from the 28-yard line. Claybon back for his first throw of the season. He's going on for Jake Rose on the shoulder catch, and he has it, and he's out of bounds at the Berwick 32-yard line. Terrific pass and catch by Jake Rose.
He has the speed, Jim. He's going to be tough to cover. Rowan Slabinski, who's 6'3", was able to kind of stay with him, but just put over his fingertips. Rose makes an over the head type of Willie Mays catch, and then eventually drugged down by Slabinski, but a beautiful pass and catch.
40 yards on the reception by Jake Rose. 1st and 10, Southern Columbia at the Berwick 32-yard line. Backs in an open set. Claybon under center. Gives the ball to Garcia, and he gets down to about the 27-yard line. Gavin Garcia brought down by Taiji Taylor, the leading tackler for the Bulldogs a season ago. They mark it at the 26. So, you know, there's a play. It doesn't look like much, and it's a 6-yard gain.
Yeah, and I was kind of impressed by Berwick's pursuit to the football, but he knifed on through, had the 5, and then eventually 5 white helmets are on him. And he's still fighting for yardage after that with that little bit of momentum.
Garcia now on a wing to the left. Barnes is the lone running back behind Claybon. The give is to Wislowski. Great penetration by Berwick. Would be a loss back to the 31-yard line. He did make the tackle, but Taiji Taylor got the penetration and then got help from 3 or 4 teammates as we have an injury timeout. I think it's Braden Wislowski down on the play, but great penetration by Taylor really ruined that play.
We mentioned him as an impact player, Jim, when they're going to turn him loose on occasion. That time they let him come free into the backfield. They happened to be running the sweep in that direction. He met it, held it up enough to get enough help to make the plays made at the line of scrimmage. Wislowski went down. It looks like they're working on his left leg, stretching things out there. Tigers are going to get water, as are Berwick on this very hot night.
It'll be a 3rd down and 9 when play resumes. We have exactly 7 minutes remaining in this scoreless opening quarter. Wislowski is on his feet.
A little bit of a limp, but not much, Jim. I think we'll see him run that off. Sometimes you get scared when you twist something and you're very hesitant to jump right up. But he's walking off under his own power, sucking some water down, and pretty sure we'll see him back in before too long.
Matt Masala will replace him in the backfield. Masala is a 5'7", 165-pound senior. 28 carries a year ago, averaged 6.5 yards a carry.
Yeah, they don't hurt when they go to their backups there, whether it's Matt Masala, Trevor York. We're going to see Loudon Murphy throughout this year, Carter Madden. They're very happy with the depth they have at running back.
3rd and 9, Southern Columbia at the Berwick 31. Wide receiver to either side. Claybon under center. Back to throw. Big pass rush. Dumps it off, and it's dropped by Wes Barnes. Berwick got the big pass rush. Of course, Southern Columbia was letting him come to set up the screen. The ball could not be held by Barnes, so now 4th and 9. And we'll see a play from scrimmage by the Tigers from the Berwick 31.
Yeah, again, their kicker, too, is out. No Isaac Carter, although this will be a little long for a field goal attempt. But we're not going to expect any in this game. 4th and 9, probably have a passing situation. They're in the middle of the field, so they can go either left or right from a straight drop back.
Jake Rose wide right. Jake Tuzlowski wide left. A wing to either side. 4th and 9. Back to throw. Claybon. Big pass rush. Runs into his own blocker. Gonna run with the football. Has some room. 20, 15, 10, 5. He's in for a Berwick touchdown. Liam Claybon makes something out of nothing. Goes 31 yards from the score. Great penetration by Tristan English. Almost had the sack.
He came in from his left defensive end and forced Claybon to step up. At that point, he's a little happy feet, can't find a receiver, so he takes off. Downfield, the receivers turned into blockers. One man had a shot, but didn't try quite hard enough to pull him down. Another was blocked in the secondary, and Claybon takes it on in for the score.
And with their kicker not available, Southern Columbia will go for 2. Wislowski back in there. He's on a wing to the right. Backs at an open set. Call goes to Garcia. Lowers the shoulder. Gets into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. Time on the field. 6:24 remaining opening quarter. Southern Columbia 8. Berwick nothing. You're listening to Bulldogs football and sports radio. HLM.
From the land of the free, the home of the brave, wonder where it's made in the USA. We'll never take a knee, we will always stand. We don't use sweatshirts from foreign lands. Support our troops every day. Wearing the American made underwear by far. American strong we are.
Underwear. No one is working harder to be your brand.
This is Berwick football coach Carm DiFrancesco. You are listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio HLM.
Berwick Bulldog football.
WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick.
HLM.
7 plays, 87 yards. That's the drive for Southern Columbia to get on the board first in this one. Liam Claybon, the quarterback, going 31 yards on a scramble on a 4th and 9 for the touchdown. And Andy, with these 3 running backs for Southern Columbia, That's all opponents need is to have a quarterback who can run.
Yeah, and he looked good on the running, too. He made good decisions. I mentioned the Berwick player had the opportunity to bring him down. He was in position, but it's not enough to be in position. You know, sometimes you are where you should be on the chalkboard, but hey, you got to finish the play. You got to make the tackle. That wasn't the case. Claiborne able to escape from that, use another block downfield, and puts the points on the board.
Liam Claiborne will be kicking off. Again, Garrett Carter not available for this one. Carter has a big leg. He can get at the end zone. This kick is not bad at all. And it's taken by Ryan Bankus inside the 10-yard line. And his return to the right side gets over the 25 out to about the 26.
Tripped on up by Mike Zito, playing linebacker for the team this year. We've seen him some at quarterback in previous seasons. Got down quickly on the specialty teams and able to take the legs out from Bankus.
That was a good kickoff by Claiborne. If that's your backup kickoff guy, that's not all bad.
Yeah, keep an eye out. Isaac Carter.
So Berwick gets it. It's at their own 25-yard line. There's 6:17 to go in this opening quarter. Southern Columbia leading this one by a score of 8-0.
Berwick huddling on the sideline with the coaching staff now coming directly to the football.
And I'll start with a slot to the right. Boone is in the slot. Dre Wilk outside of him. Lonzinski from the shotgun. Gives the ball off. The Bankus room up the left side. 35-40. 45 to midfield into the Southern Columbia 42-yard line. The left side of that Berwick front. Big hole for Ryan Bankus and a huge gain for the Bulldogs.
Connor Gallagher eventually had to run him down because Bankus had the step, but perhaps running that previous kick return, Jim, winded him a little bit. But a nice seam off the left side. Southern Columbia out of position either by block or by missed assignment. Found the soft corner and took off wonderfully.
32 yards and a carry by Ryan Bankus. 1st and 10. Berwick in Southern Columbia territory for the second time in this opening quarter. Lonzinski out of the gun. Gives to Bankus again. Squirts through to about the 40-yard line. Pickup of 3 on that first down carry. Southern Columbia's Logan Sharrow made the stop. They mark it at the 41, so give just 2.
Some coaches like to go with the hot hand after the big run. They gave it to Bankus again. My feeling is let him catch his wind, try to alternate with a different type of play. But again, they're limited. What weapons do they have? He's their man in the backfield, so if you're going to go with the run, you're giving it to him.
Spencer Kishbaugh is the tight end to the left. Just off his shoulder is Taiji Taylor. Lonzinski back to throw. Fires incomplete. Intended for Dre Wilk. Boy, Derek Berlitz was across that line of scrimmage in a hurry. Lonzinski did a great job just to get that away.
And Jake Tusluski had excellent coverage on the receiver on the far side, running a short post. So Southern Columbia showing its defensive chops there against the pass.
3rd down and 8. Berwick at the Southern Columbia 41-yard line. They had a similar situation in their first possession in Berwick territory, but a penalty brought them back, and they decided to punt it away. This will be 4-down territory, I would think, is Wilk. Wide to the right. Bo Sheptok in a slot to that side. Wide receiver left as well. Lonzinski out of the gun. Has the snap. Fires to the far sideline way over the head of the intended receiver, Dre Wilk.
Berlitz is busting the play up, Jim. He's at the left defensive end, crashing toward the quarterback. Slow snap, it's spinning as it comes into the shotgun. He fights to get the ball. He feels that pressure. Berlitz is jumping. He has to throw over him. In order to throw over Berlitz, he's going to throw way over the receiver.
Berwick again will punt on 4th down from Southern Columbia territory. Again, it will be Dre Wilk who will do the punting. He's standing back at the Berwick 46-yard line. Snap is a good one. Kick is away. High hop to Garcia. Great coverage by Berwick. He's down about the 10-yard line.
Berwick had him surrounded, and eventually tried left, turned right, and Evan Meehan was in position to bring him down immediately. So you're right. Wonderful coverage. Punt just kind of pooched on down, bounced in front of Garcia. And by the time he picks it up on the bounce, it's safe enough to do. He just has nowhere to go.
4:55 remaining first quarter. Southern Columbia 8, Berwick nothing. Tigers first and 10 at their own 12-yard line as they move from our left to our right in this opening period. Derek Berlitz is going to be in at a tight end to start this series. You know, he played at Notre Dame Green Pond as a sophomore and had 48 catches.
Not bad.
No, for your backup tight end. As the give is to Garcia, hit behind the line and brought down for a loss to 7-yard line. Terrific defensive work by Berwick.
Dre Wilk was in some sort of a safety blitzer. They cheated him up, so he had the penetration. Coach Carm DiFrancesco and his staff may feel that they have to penetrate through all of the gaps at the start of the play. We've been seeing penetration into the backfield, and that can throw the wing tee off. Call it a loss of 4 yards.
Second down and 14. Tigers backed up to their own 8-yard line.
Who was the runner, Jim?
Garcia. Logan Sharrow, the tight end to the right. A wing to either side. Claymont from the 8. Long count. In motion, Wislowski takes the handoff. Tries to sweep the left side and gets the corner. Here comes the state's 100-meter champion over midfield. To the 40, to the 30, the 20, and no one will come close to catching him. Braden Wislowski, 92 yards for a Southern Columbia touchdown.
They gave him the corner with the blocking, Jim. Berwick's been playing tough on the perimeter. That time, he got the soft corner with the blocking. And once he turned that corner, you can see that some Berwick players had angles, but he's going to make them lose that angle. He's that state sprinting champion, Jim, and you can just see him accelerating, and eventually players are just giving up, saying there's just no way, I can't match that speed, and he coasts it on in.
And he mentioned the blocking. It was terrific, and it's a good gain for most backs. For Wislowski, it's a touchdown.
Yep. Yeah, normally the angle would catch you. But, when you have that kind of speed, safeties at midfield, the opposite corner just can't catch up to that kind of speed no matter what angle they take.
Tigers will go for 2. Again, their place kicker is not available. Wislowski and Barnes. Claybon throws off play action, has Gavin Garcia all by himself for the 2-point conversion. Timeout on the field. 3:53 to go in the opening quarter. Southern Columbia 16, Berwick nothing. You're listening to Bulldogs Football and Sports Radio, HLM.
Forge Pub and Eatery on 11th and Mulberry in Berwick is where you need to go when you want a delicious homemade meal. Even the salad dressings are scratch-made. Open every day at 11 with free delivery to the Berwick area. And check out their Facebook page to get the daily specials. They have a full bar, 10 beers on tap with 5 rotating seasonal brews, and an extensive selection of domestic and craft beers. It's the perfect place to go out with colleagues or for date night. Forge will always impress. Forge Pub and Eatery in Berwick is a proud supporter of the Berwick Bulldogs football team.
This is Berwick football coach Carm DiFrancesco. You are listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio HLM.
Berwick Bulldog football.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick.
HLM.
Liam Clemont's kick is very, very high. It'll be fielded by Taiji Taylor down around the 10-yard line. Takes to the far side, is hit and dropped at about the 13. Great coverage downfield by Southern Columbia.
Ryan Kerstetter, and there's another player even in front of him. So 2 of them met him, and then Ryan knocked him away from the other tackler and drove him back about 5 yards. Berwick in a little bit of a battle for the football. I think Taiji Taylor wanted to make something happen, got it in his hands, but great coverage by Southern Columbia.
Worst field position to start a possession for Berwick in this opening quarter. They have it at their own 17-yard line. Southern Columbia leading this one 16-0. Those ominous clouds that we referred to earlier are right above Tiger Stadium right now. As we have a slot to the left, wide receiver right. Junior quarterback Matt Lunsinski waits the shotgun snap. Has it, fires a quick out, has the completion and a gain out over the 20 to the 23-yard line. Dre Wilk makes the grab for Berwick.
Yeah, it was nice. Little wide receiver screen. Taiji Taylor was out in that direction as well. Takes a little block. Trey Wilk takes it behind him, and they'll settle for about 7 yards on that. I think they like the first down passing. You're not as likely to get Derek Berlitz on the pass rush with his arms up on that play.
2nd down and 3. Berwick at their own 24-yard line. Wilk wide to the right side. Slot to the left. Bonsinski out of the gun. Gives the ball to Bankus, and he's brought down for a loss of the play.
Carson Savitsky from his defensive tackle shucked the man, threw him aside, got the 1-yard penetration, and Bankus had nowhere to go. They'll meet him in the backfield and drop him for about a 3-yard loss.
So 3rd down play coming for the Bulldogs. Savitsky and Chris Treshak both start on the offensive line, and they alternate on the defensive line.
Keeps them a little bit fresher rather than going 2 ways.
3rd down and 7. 3 receivers to the right. Bonsinski has the snap. Big pass rush. He'll be sacked inside the 10-yard line.
5-6 Tigers on top of him. Hard to say who got there first. It was a race to him as the pass protection really broke down. That sack will lose about 11 yards.
Yeah, those quick outs are about all that's available to Berwick when it comes to the passing department. There's just not time to go any farther.
No, and then guys like Berlitz, if you're throwing in his directions, the hands are up and you can't get them over him. He's able to sort of shock the man back with a power rush, throw him in toward the quarterback. And the slow shotgun snaps make it a little harder on the timing for the passer.
Hartman snap to the punter, Wilk. Kick bounces high. Wislowski will let it roll. It'll end up in Berwick territory, but out near midfield, about the 48-yard line. So that's where Southern Columbia will put in play with 1:19 remaining in this first quarter. And Southern Columbia leading Berwick by a score of 16-0.
I don't think you can ask for much more out of a punter than you're getting from Trey Wilk, who doesn't normally do it. It's a one-step and kick. He gets enough height, tends to drop it right in front of the men where they can't come up and catch it. And then you're always hesitant to field a punt on a bounce. So limiting Southern to no return. 3 punts and no return against Wilk. And it may be Wilk that's down on the play back at the 7. You know, it's extremely warm on this opening night, and hopefully that's a cramp situation. They are working on the right shin, Jim, so it's possible. He wasn't hit where he punted, yes, and he's trying to jog off the field now. He punted from the center of the field, and he was outside the hash on the other side. So he apparently punted, started to get into, look for the return, and probably Charlie horsed because of the heat.
So Southern Columbia takes over at the Berwick 48-yard line. Tigers leading at 16-0, 1:19 to go in the first quarter of the first meeting between these two schools since 1965.
And you were there.
I was there.
And Rich Roberts, too.
It's 3 years, the contract, as I understand it, be at Berwick next year to open the season. As Klebon, play action, back to throw, has some time. Now the pass rush, gets away momentarily, then he's sacked back at the 44-yard line. Berwick just kept coming. Not sure who the first one there was, but Spencer Kishbaugh eventually was involved, and he got some help. It'll be a loss of 6 back to the Southern Columbia 44.
Bruce Hartman was the first man up the middle, Jim, and then Kishbaugh, and then eventually Taiji Taylor breaking free as well. So they were all coming in and coming in hard, and they're able to get that sack.
2nd down and 16. Southern Columbia back at their own 44-yard line.
More than 16, Jim. Looks closer to 20.
Klebon under center. There's the inside reverse. And getting it is Gavin Garcia. Starts off the right side. Fakes one man and another. Still on his feet to the 34-yard line. There is a flag down back near the 40-yard line. Wow.
Holding against Southern, so it will come back, but it was a highlight film type of run. You mentioned a double handoff, a staple in Southern's wing key approach. He seemed to have the corner without any need for a hold on the inside. When he turned that corner, and he wasn't going to be able to take the sideline. Berwick had the angle, so he had one man just front him. He stopped, juked in, juked out, and beat the man. Then cutting against the grain, picked up a few blockers before Berwick sort of outmans them. But it will come back, and after the sack, now add this holding penalty. It's going to be a lot of yardage Southern needs to make up, but they can make it with these runners.
Boy, there's a Berwick defender who shall remain nameless who won't want to see that film.
No.
But he is not the first one that has had Gavin Garcia just juke him out of his cleats. Back at the 31-yard line. Second down and 31. Klebon has Wislowski in motion, takes the handoff, tries to sweep that left side, gets by one man and another, and then is buried about the 37-yard line. Good play, Taiji Taylor.
Yeah, but he's backside chasing the play, Jim, and catching it after a 10-yard gain or so. Berwick has people near the point of attack that should be making the tackles and just aren't able to pull him down.
But just 7 yards, and that was 31 yards to go. And that is the end of the first quarter play. With the score, Southern Columbia 16, Berwick nothing. You're listening to Bulldogs Football on Sports Radio, HLM.
Quality care for your dental health at Berwick Dental Arts, 105 West 9th Street in Berwick. State-of-the-art equipment comes together with a tradition of 45 years of personalized care. From the youngest to the oldest patient, let Berwick Dental Arts doctors and staff take care of every aspect of your dental needs. They'll process all types of insurances. Make your appointment today. Call Berwick Dental Arts friendly staff at 752-4542. Berwick Dental Arts, making smiles beautiful.
This is Berwick football coach Carm DiFrancesco. You are listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio HLM.
Berwick Bulldog football.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick.
HLM.
Jim Doyle and Andy Lickney from Jim Roth Field in Tiger Stadium. It's the 2021 season opener, the first meeting between Berwick and Southern Columbia since 1965. The four-time champion Tigers leading Berwick 16-0. But they will have a third down and 22 to start this second quarter as they'll be moving from our right to our left. They have the ball at their own 38-yard line.
You mentioned that game many years ago, Jim, that you were at, and Rich Roberts, quarterback Southern Columbia. If people listen in closely, in the background, they'll hear Rich Roberts calling the game on the PA system periodically. He's a longtime fixture at that microphone for Southern Columbia.
Tigers with the football to start this second quarter. If you're just joining us, a 92-yard run by Braden Wislowski, a 31-yard run on a scramble by quarterback Liam Klebon. Those are the two touchdowns. Southern Columbia without their kickers going for two in this game, and they converted twice. Gavin Garcia both times on a run and on a reception from Klebon.
Prolonging the timeout, perhaps for media, we'll find out. Liam Klebon came back over to talk to Jim Roth while the rest of the team stayed huddled. Here we go now.
Kozlowski, wide receiver to the right. Rose to the left. A wing to either side. Klebon, straight drop back to throw, and he's looking long for Jake Rose, just beyond his reach, inside the 30-yard line. Boy, is that going to be a big-time threat this season. Rose caught a 40-yard pass in that opening quarter. They almost connected there.
Yeah, Braden Boone had coverage, and he's experienced in the secondary, and he's aware of this guy's speed. And yet Jake Rhodes still able to get the step when down and distance is calling for the bomb.
And now a punt for Southern Columbia, and the punter will be Liam Klebon. Again, Isaac Carter not available for this game. He does all the kicking. The punt is away. It's a line drive. It's fielded at the 32-yard line by Dre Wilk, and he's dragged down at about the 38-yard line.
Real nice tackle out there in open field trying to get the number. That would be Mike Zito. We saw him on a specialty team play on the kickoff. Now he makes one on the potential punt return.
Southern Columbia very upset. They thought there was a penalty against Berwick on that play. There is no flag, and the Bulldogs will take over at their own 38-yard line. We're just underway here in the second quarter. Southern Columbia leading Berwick by a score of 16-0.
I was looking downfield, so I didn't see a potential penalty, but I believe it was Claiborne, the punter, who felt he was being bumped, and a number of coaches pleading his case as well.
Berwick with an I formation now. Tristan English is the fullback. Lonzinski under center, gives the ball to Bankus, tries the left side, but what a terrific tackle in the open field.
Catch that number. That's number 23. Garrett Garcia is right. BA beat me to it. Coming from his inside linebacker position, the third of the Garcia brothers that we've seen play at Southern Columbia. This one a defensive specialist, led the team in tackles last year as a freshman as an inside linebacker. And he's paired with a freshman again this year in Dominic, help me out here, Fedorov. I'm getting my ex-Tigers confused. 2nd and 10. Bulldogs from their own 38. Again, the I formation slapped to the right side. Lonzinski under center, gives the ball to Bankus off the left side, and not much doing. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Some Tiger just put his head down, took on the trash, and then helped make the tackle. Logan Sharrow from defensive end took on the lead block, stuffed things in the hole, and allowed for no gain. Sharrow comes out of there now. Austin Reeder replaces him for this 3rd down and 10 situation for the Bulldogs. Remember, this is a Southern Columbia defense that lost heavily through graduation. Just 3 starters back from a year ago, but they kept Valley View out of the end zone in the scrimmage, and so far nothing on the board for Berwick as the Bulldogs face a 3rd down and 10 at their own 38. Lonzinski back to throw, fires on the middle, incomplete, threw it a little behind the intended receiver Dre Wilk. Again, Derek Berlitz bearing down on the quarterback. He's tough, Jim. 7 sacks last year, 60 tackles, and again, they don't play full games at Southern Columbia. They usually sit in the second half. Trying to throw that over the middle. A lot of linebackers were in the area. Tough window to thread. 4th and 10. Trey Wilk back to do the punting. Garcia and Wislowski deep for Southern Columbia. Good snap. Kick is away. Very, very high. The ball fielded by Garcia is going to reverse his field. Look for room. He's at the 35. He turns the corner to 40. The 45 to midfield. Makes the move. Still on his feet. Breaks a tackle. Inside the 30. Inside the 25. Spins away to the 15. Breaks away from the tackle. Gets in for the touchdown. A highlight film of punt return. Gavin Garcia. I can't even attempt to describe it. I thought I did pretty well. He went up the right side and saw there's nothing there. So as he often does on offensive plays, he reverses his field, gives a little ground, and he finds a sideline down the other side, but people have angles. Kick steps away, freezes a man and loses him with no blocking. Cuts against the grain, breaks about 3 tackles, somehow maintains his balance. Jim, I can't describe it. There are so many broken tackles and juke steps, and it was just amazing. The power, the speed, all of it was on display there as Southern Columbia again will go for 2. Toss, sweep, left side into the end zone for the 2-point conversion is Wes Barnes. So the Tigers 3 for 3 on those conversions. Time out of the field, 9:46 to go, second quarter. Southern Columbia 24, Berwick nothing. You're listening to Bulldogs Football and Sports Radio, HLM.
Riverview Block of Berwick, with over 75 years of service, can handle all your block and concrete needs. They carry all sizes of concrete block, including decorative EP Henry landscaping block. Their concrete is PennDOT approved and delivered with front discharge trucks. Riverview Block also carries masonry supplies, tools, cement, sand, and stone. For prompt delivery, call Riverview Block, 570-752-7191. Riverview Block is proud to support the Berwick Bulldogs.
This is Berwick football coach Carm DiFrancesco. You are listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio HLM.
Berwick Bulldog football.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick.
HLM.
We called the extra point by Wes Barnes, but there was a motion penalty against Southern Columbia, so they did not get the 2-point conversion. They'll have to try for it again, and they'll be doing that after a Berwick timeout. So we'll see how the Tigers play it. They are 2 for 2 so far, 2-point conversions, but this one will be back at the 8-yard line. Masala is in the lineup in a slot to the right. Jake Wislowski outside of him. Jake Rose wide to the left. Klebon under center. From the 8, he's back to throw. Big pass rush, steps up into it, fires, has his man for the 2-point conversion. Nicely done by Liam Klebon as he hits Jake Rose for the 2. Stepped away from a would-be tackler and makes the play. Timeout on the field, 9:46 remaining in the second quarter of play. Southern Columbia 24, Berwick nothing. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio HLM.
If you have a child that's interested in gymnastics, or if you've been practicing the sport for years, then Access Gymnastics Academy is where you want to be. Their dedicated coaches will teach you everything you need to know to perform your best, from the basics of flexibility, form, and style to advanced techniques that will improve your rhythm and style during a routine. Call Heidi Rebuck at Access Gymnastics Academy at 570-441-5969. That's 570-441-5969. Now enrolling for beginner to advanced classes at 917 East 7th Street in Bloomsburg.
Berwick Bulldog football. HLM.
This is Berwick football coach Carm DiFrancesco. You are listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio HLM.
Berwick Bulldog football.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick.
HLM.
Liam Klebon to kick off for Southern Columbia. Good kick, high. Bank is back at the 12 for the Bulldogs, to the 15, to the 20, and cut down the 23-yard line. Gavin Garcia among the people down for Southern Columbia.
Fedorov came down, that's the freshman, and had contained, turned it inside. And then those people angling were able to make the tackle, but he would not give up the corner, and that's the play you need.
The ball back at the 22-yard line. Andy, this is the strength of Southern Columbia. I don't think Berwick's playing poorly at all in this opening half, and then you look up at the scoreboard, you're down 3 scores.
Well, the specialty team touchdown certainly helps. The speed on a 92-yard touchdown certainly helps. You can look at the big plays. Overall, Berwick's been, relatively even offense, defense. The big plays and the big play on the quarterback running as well. So, I don't think you can be too upset. I'd like to see a little better overall tackling, and that might prevent some of the big plays. But it's so early in the season without that second scrim, it's hard to get the tackling down.
Berwick from their 22-yard line. The give is to Bankus off the left side. Good first down carry. The 25 to the 26. Ashton Helwig comes from his safety position to make the play for the Tigers. A good first down carry. We saw Ryan Bankus a year ago in limited action. He had 10 carries in the 6 Bulldog games. He does run very hard.
Runs hard, and they give him the initial at the line of scrimmage, but people at the second level or the third level coming up for Southern very well and making tackle to limit it. You can't get that big play with the sure tackling Southern has.
Bankus had a 32-yard run earlier in this game. Now Lunzinski will operate out of the gun with Bankus to his right. And the give is to Bankus off the left side. Penetration behind the line of scrimmage. And he will lose yardage.
Yes, he will. We mentioned Dominic Fedorov, the freshman playing linebacker. I believe it was a read. I don't think he was blitzing. He saw the same action as the previous play. Shot between the guard and the tackle. Made the play in the backfield for a loss.
3rd down and 8 coming for the Bulldogs at their own 24-yard line. Clock running. 8:28 remaining in this opening half. Stay with us at halftime. We'll have an interview with former Berwick quarterback and now the Associate Athletic Director at Notre Dame, Ron Powis. Also, Raven Klein will bring you updated on all the scores in this opening night of the 2021 season.
Ron Paulus is always good to listen to, Jim. I've heard this interview you've had with him out at Notre Dame, and it's an informative one as to what he's doing.
3rd and 8, Lonzinski back to throw. Big pass rush. He ducks under it, and he can't avoid the sack. Back at the 14-yard line.
It was Jake Rose coming to jump and forced him to turn back, and I think it was Trevor York's opposite filling in when he tried to, reverse direction and make something happen, but just nowhere to go.
And now a difficult situation is you have Gavin Garcia, who raced 60 yards with a punt for a spectacular touchdown last time Berwick punted. He's joined by Wes Barnes. And back to kick is Dre Wilk for the Bulldogs. Standing back at his own 4-yard line. Good snap. Gets the kick away. Line drive toward the sideline. Takes a high hop. Goes out of bounds. So Southern Columbia will have great field position. But the alternative is is Gavin Garcia getting his hands on the ball. So it's an effective kick. And the Tigers will take over at the Berwick 41-yard line. With 7:07 remaining in this opening half, and Southern Columbia leading it 24-0.
We have an official's timeout, Jim, to let both teams get some water.
Yeah, you'll see these early in the season. Latest weather report that black cloud has now come all the way around this field. I think we might be living on borrowed time, but I don't know. Maybe we're just blessed.
I like the way you have official weather reports by looking at the cloud that's moving.
Yeah.
That's quite good.
It's really ominous off to our left.
Yeah.
But that was far to our right when it started.
Yeah.
Good crowd on hand for this opening game of the season. Bulldogs will have their home opener next week against a very good Crestwood team, a team that won the District 2 4A title a year ago. Stay with us at halftime. Crestwood's opening with Williamsport. Braden will bring us an update on that one. Here's Southern Columbia. 1st and 10 at the Berwick 41-yard line following the timeout. Claiborne under center. Garcia in motion. The call goes straight ahead to Wes Barnes. Breaks the tackle 30, 25. Still on his feet. The 20. Dragged out the 18-yard line.
Taiji Taylor getting to him, Jim.
They do so much of that sweeping motion and going this way and that way. The quick hitter is still there. And boy, Wes Barnes shot out of there like he was on the starting blocks and picked up 23 yards to the 18-yard line.
The eyes go left, the eyes go right, and straight on up the middle. He just bursts like a bullet. Taiji Taylor able to angle back and get him before he takes it all the way.
1st and 10, Southern Columbia at the Berwick 18-yard line. Backs in an open set. Claiborne gives the ball to Garcia. Nothing there. Bounces away. Good pursuit by the Bulldogs. He's brought down at the line of scrimmage. They kept coming. And boy, if you're going to stop someone like Garcia, that's the way to do it. Lots of helmets to the ball.
Landon Rubenstein, one of them on the bottom of the pile. He did change direction and jump step his way out toward that defensive tackle spot. But there was no seam to be had, and Berwick continued to pursue to the football.
2nd down and 10. Tigers at the Bulldog 18-yard line. As Jake Rose will split wide to the right side. Barnes is the lone running back behind quarterback Liam Claiborne. A wing to either side. Garcia comes in motion. Fake to him. Back to throws Claiborne. Has time. Steps up into the pocket. Fires to the end zone. Incomplete. Almost. In fact, on target. Just a little bit low for the intended receiver.
Trying to catch the number, Jim. It looks like there's a 70 on that number, but that's not allowed. Is it a 20? Won't turn enough for me. I believe it's number 20. And we should let him stay unidentified, but there is no number 20 on the roster, so he will stay unidentified.
Is it Derek Berlitz at 87?
No, it wasn't, Jim. No, and it was a ball that was on target in the back of the end zone. Should have been caught by an anonymous wide receiver.
I tell you, Claiborne has played well in this
That was a nice
half.
throw. And Gavin Garcia really picked up the blitz. Came in motion, as you mentioned. There was a man coming right through, and he just picked him up, gave wonderful protection to the quarterback.
Here's a 3rd and 10. Southern Columbia at the Berwick 18-yard line. Jake Kozlowski wide right. Jake Rose wide left. Klebon under center. Straight drop back to throw. Has time looking for Rose. And throws it beyond his reach at the 10-yard line. Good coverage by Braden Boone. The 4th and 10 coming. Southern Columbia at the Berwick 18.
Yeah, Rose felt the coverage was a little too close, but you're able to play a bump and run. You're able to stay with those receivers. I thought it was legit.
So we have a 4th down coming, and we have a timeout, Southern Columbia. 5:34 to go, opening half. 24-0. Tigers over the Bulldogs. You're listening to Berwick Football and Sports Radio HLN.
The community of Berwick knows Bulldog tough. So when it's time to remodel your garage or replace your overhead door, go with the quality doors and service the Red Ribbon represents. Look for the Red Ribbon logo. It's a symbol of 100 years of great doors, great installation, and great service. Give Overhead Door Company of Berwick a call, 570-759-3053, or visit their website at ohdberwick.com. Overhead Door Company of Berwick proudly supports the Berwick Bulldogs.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLM.
This is Berwick football coach Carm DiFrancesco. You are listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio HLM.
Berwick Bulldog Football,
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick,
HLM.
5 minutes, 34 seconds remaining in the opening half. Southern Columbia, 4-time defending state champion, leading Berwick by a score of 24-0. Following the Southern Columbia timeout, Tigers with a 4th and 10. They have it at the Bulldog 18-yard line as they move from our right to our left in this second quarter. Wes Barnes, Gavin Garcia backs at an open set. Klebon back to throw. Looking to set up the screen. Has it to Garcia at the 15, at the 10, at the 5, and trots in for a touchdown. Beautifully executed screen pass on a 4th and 10. 18 yards for the score, Gavin Garcia.
I like the way Liam Klebon looked to the right, like he was looking to the receivers on the opposite side. And then last minute, Deeks throws it to the left, hits Garcia. He's able to catch it in stride as he's swinging upfield, uses his speed, uses his blockers, and takes it in standing. Very nice play.
Gavin Garcia with his 2nd touchdown of this game for his career. 92 touchdowns.
And you know, Jim, he's 5 carries for just 9 yards in this game. We're wondering if he'd approach a 200-yard game to get his 5,000 career yards.
He impacts games in so many ways.
So many.
And now they're going to try to kick an extra point. They've been perfect on 2-point conversions. Now Klebon will attempt to kick the extra point. His kick is low, but his kick is good. Timeout on the field. 5:25 remaining in the opening half. Southern Columbia 31, Berwick nothing. You're listening to Bulldogs Football and Sports Radio, HLM.
Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas of Berwick, are your roofing experts for Luzerne, Columbia, and Montour counties. With 26 years of experience and great rates, why go anywhere else when Red's Roofing will get the job done right for your decks, siding, or roofing, specializing in metal and rubber shingles. Most roofing work is done in one day. So remember the name, Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas. Call Red's Roofing, 752-4351. Owner Harry Titus, a proud supporter of the Berwick football team.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLM.
This is Berwick football coach Carm DiFrancesco. You are listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio HLM.
Berwick Bulldog Football,
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick,
HLM.
Liam Klebon will kick off following his extra point. Nice kickoff. Take us back to the 10-yard line for the Bulldogs. To the 15. Goes to the far side. Flags flies. He gets over to the 26-yard line. The flag on the opposite side of the field.
Jake Kozlowski on the tackle. Very sure on that. Probably a blocking infraction well away from the return.
Yeah, among the myriad of things that Southern Columbia does so well, they cover kicks extremely well.
And it's so hard to practice that, Jim. I think what happens is you get these guys who, may not see as much action as they'd like. Some guys would like to be two-way players. Some would like to break in beyond the rotation defensively, and they want to prove themselves. But it's hard to practice tackling live, and especially this type of open field running back kick type tackling. And Southern's very good at it.
It was a holding call against the Bulldogs. They'll back them up to their own 16-yard line. 5:18 to go in this opening half. Southern Columbia with the big lead as Berwick comes to the line of scrimmage. Matt Lunzinski got one start a year ago, late in the season. He is at the quarterback controls, and he's operating out of the shotgun with a slot to the left. Has the snap. Gives straight ahead, gain out to the 20-yard line. Pretty good burst on first down by Ryan Bankus.
Yes, it was. He's going to sleep well tonight. Dominic Federoff with the tackle for Southern Columbia as they run the inside. He'll give Bankus 4 yards. He has 42 on the game.
2nd down and 6 for Berwick at the 20-yard line, as they will send a slot to the right side. Tough to get passes off against this Southern Columbia pass rush. They've had some success on quick hitters. Running back loses his stance, will make it tougher on the Bulldogs. They'll back it up to the 15, and will bring up a 2nd down and 11.
Haven't seen that many type of penalties in the course of this, Jim, for an opener. It shows well-coached teams on both sides of the football.
Yeah, that's a good point. And, of course, these days there is only one preseason scrimmage.
Yep.
So there isn't a lot of time to get ready. 2nd down and 11. Ball back at the Bulldogs 15. Lunzinski has to snap, then he runs into the ball carrier. The scramble is on for the football. And it is Southern Columbia football. Unfortunate, it was actually Lunzinski who collided with the would-be ball carrier. And as a result, the ball is loose, and Connor Gallagher comes up with it for Southern Columbia. That's the first turnover of the game for Berwick.
Southern was blitzing up the middle, so the fact that the exchange, the whole situation wasn't smooth made it tough. By the time they were ready to gain possession, a collision occurred with a defender, a linebacker coming up the middle. The ball popped up in the air, and Southern, with its penetration, shows Gallagher coming up with the football.
Tigers 1st and goal at the 10-yard line. Man in motion to the left. Pitch to the left. It's Wes Barnes. Straight arms one tackler. Can't get by another. Is brought down about the 9-yard line. Good defense by Berwick, starting with Dre Wilk. He was straight arm, but strung the play out. It'll be 2nd down coming. Goal to go for Southern Columbia.
He attacks the line of scrimmage from the safety position. Of course, when you're down in the red zone, there's not as much to defend behind you. Red run very quickly, came up, as you said, kept that play moving laterally.
2nd and goal. Colden Bloom, number 31, a 10th grader, is in the lineup for Southern Columbia. He's on a wing to the right side. From the 9-yard line, Garcia comes in motion, gets the handoff, looks for some room inside the 5 and into the end zone for the touchdown. He read that one beautifully. It looked like it was meant to go outside, but he saw an opening inside and goes in 9 yards for the score.
Yeah, real nice read. Little kick out block, and he should be able to take it off right tackle at that angle. But he saw that he could plant, jump step, take it inside, angle against the grain, and take it in even easier. Nice run, good vision by Gavin Garcia.
So it takes just 2 plays for the Tigers to get in the end zone after the fumble recovery by Connor Gallagher. Garcia lines up on a wing to the right as they'll go for 2. Claybon under center, gives to Barnes, hit behind the line once, twice, and does not get in. Good penetration defensively by the Bulldogs. Time on the field, 3:33 remaining in the first half of play. Score, Southern Columbia 37 and Berwick nothing. You're listening to Bulldogs Football on Sports Radio HLM.
Mason's Monogramming has the largest selection of Bulldog items in Berwick. Family owned with more than 30 years experience and new Bulldog wear for every age, including masks, tees, polos, sweater shirts, jackets, and hats. They even have brand new indestructible silicone cups, koozies, car coasters, decals, and more. Shop at masonsmonogram.com for their new items and select in-person pickup or shipping right to you. Follow their Instagram at Mason's Monogram for their latest new items. Mason's Monogram service in Berwick. Let them personalize for you.
This is Berwick football coach Carm DiFrancesco. You are listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio HLM.
Berwick Bulldog football.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick.
HLM.
Liam Claiborne kicks off. Nice kick over the head of Bankus into the end zone. So Claiborne, who is the emergency kicker for Southern Columbia, has done well in that department. He's kicked an extra point. His kickoffs have been very, very good.
They have. I think Bankus needed to be deeper. They've been kicking down to around the 5-yard line in the air. That time Bankus was up closer to the 10 or 15-yard line, and it sailed over his head, and then with the roll took it into the end zone.
1st and 10 for Berwick. Bulldogs at their own 20-yard line. Trail by the big margin here in the opening half. They try to get something going on offense. They've been in Southern Columbia territory twice in this first half, but nothing on the board yet. Braden Boone's going to line up on the slot to the right side. Dre Wilk ahead of him. I formation under center is Lonzinski. Gives the ball to Bankus. Tries the left side. Brought down right at the line of scrimmage.
Ashton Helwick coming up tight, anticipating first down run. Read it immediately when they handed off to the tailback in the I formation. Came up, played it like a linebacker, and holds it to no gain.
Andy Mills has been a defensive coordinator here at Southern longer than Jim Roth has been the head coach, and he does such a terrific job. Again, this defense looks terrific tonight, and there's 3 starters back from a year ago.
Yeah, and guys who played on and off, though, Jim, while they're not necessarily starters, they're sort of second-half starters against a lot of teams' first-teamers. They've had some experience, and they developed the talent.
Lonzinski back to throw, and the quick out is tipped and incomplete.
Trying to get the quick out to Braden Boone. As you mentioned, hit, and fortunately for Berwick, tipping itself right out of bounds to the Berwick sideline.
3rd down and 10. Again, ideally, you like to try to play ball control against Southern Columbia, but it's so hard to do. You take a quick out like that, you hope to get a couple of yards, make a manageable 3rd down, but now if you have to throw again, you've used very little time and you're kicking from deep in your own territory.
And you can't forget the fact Berwick's playing without their 2 premier running backs, and they expect to be their starters this season, the guys with experience.
Here's a 3rd and 10. Lonzinski gives the ball to Bankus off the left side. He is hit hard. Good effort by him, but gets just to the 25-yard line, where it'll be 4th down coming. Clock running with 2:28 remaining in this opening half.
Kept in bounds on that tackle by Connor Gallagher. So the clock will continue to move.
Gallagher had that fumble recovery moments ago. He's a 5'11", 165-pound senior. Tigers replacing their whole secondary from a year ago. Jake Tuzlowski, Ashton Helwig, and Connor Gallagher are the starters for this game. Dre Wilk back to punt. Snap is a little bit high, but he gets the kick away. Low line drive kick. There'll be no return, but a short kick, and Southern Columbia will be in business in Berwick territory with 1:53 remaining in this first half, and the Tigers leading this one by a score of 37-0.
With the score as it is in the short field position, Jim Roth normally wouldn't mind not scoring here. The problem is you like to give your first teamers at least the entire half to play. And even if you run very vanilla plays out of the wing tee, with these running backs and the blocking they get, any play can go for the touchdown. So, ball's on the 40-yard line, under 2 minutes. See how it goes.
Jake Rose, wide receiver to the right. A wing to either side. Claiborne from the Berwick 30. Gives the ball to Masala. Makes one man miss and gets to about the 35-yard line.
Well, I like the tackle in there by Berwick's Tristan English. Been playing some defensive end. Might have slipped into linebacker there. But tackle with a little violence. Brought the man down hard. Shows he's still playing here with the score lopsided.
Second down and 5 for Southern Columbia at the Berwick 35-yard line. Backs in an open set. Wing is to the right. Claiborne gives the ball off to the right to Garcia. Gavin Garcia is inside the 30.
Bo Sheptock came up well, Jim. I'm sorry to cut your call off, but he's playing safety in this game. Watched him in the scrim, and he's quite the hitter. Came up, got Gavin Garcia low by the knees, and twisted him down.
1st and 10. Southern Columbia, 6 yards in the carry by Gavin Garcia. He's going to end this game if he doesn't play much or any in the second half. With really modest rushing numbers, but boy, you had to see some of his plays.
Just 24 yards. Yep. Rushing.
From the 29. Give. Straight ahead. Whew, good effort. Wes Barnes carrying tacklers to the 15-yard line.
Wow.
4 or 5 white shirts with a chance to bring him down. He just kept those legs chugging.
He hit a pile of about 3, and you thought the play was over. Did not give up. People fell off. Others came up, hit him again. There's another 3 on him. Kept the legs going and almost squirted free from that.
13 yards in the carry by Wes Barnes. Southern Columbia in no particular hurry with the big lead. Time for one more play probably in this opening half. Claiborne from the 16, gives straight ahead, run to the outside. Barnes will make it to the end zone on the final play of this first half. What an effort. Back-to-back plays by Wes Barnes, this one from 16 yards out.
It was a beautiful play. Basically, vanilla straight up the middle, but with all the window dressing you get from the wing tee, the eyes go left, the eyes go right. He comes up the middle, splits things at the linebacker zone, breaks to the left, and then at the hash, one more hard break toward the sideline where his speed takes him in.
So that was the final play of this opening half. Southern Columbia will come to the line of scrimmage. They've kicked 1 extra point. They've gone for 2 on all the others. They'll go for none here as Claiborne takes a knee. That is the end of the first half of play with the score. Southern Columbia 43 and Berwick nothing. You're listening to Bulldogs Football and Sports Radio, HLM.
Berwick Notary Center, 1544 Orange Street, State Route 93, has been serving the Berwick community for over 50 years with the highest quality service as well as the lowest prices available. They offer services for driver's licenses, instant camera cards, registration renewals, boat, ATV, and snowmobile transfers. And they are messenger and agent approved. Open Monday through Friday, 9 till 5, and Saturday, 9 till 1. Check out their Facebook page or email them directly at berwicknotary@yahoo.com. Berwick Notary proudly supports the Berwick Bulldogs. Go Dogs!
Every step of the way, First Columbia Bank. Any questions, ask them. Let's dream and make it happen. Time to feel the way a friend can make your day. For the big decisions, every step of the way. Your hometown bank, the first place to go for your big time plans. Together we'll grow every step of the way. First Columbia Bank.
Whether it's the heat of the preseason or the heart of the postseason, teams will always get a little boost from playing at home. Speaking of a boost at home, State Farm can boost your savings when you combine your homeowner's insurance with your auto coverage. So score one for the home team. Talk to State Farm agents Lori Powell or Sean Black in Berwick, or Melissa Price in Nescapec about big savings for combining home and car coverage. Give State Farm agents Melissa Price, Sean Black, or Lori Powell a call today.
If you haven't been to name brand liquidations in the Berwick Plaza Shopping Center, you're missing out on great values. At name brand liquidations, you'll save money from 50 to 90% on everything imaginable. From furniture to food to bedding, you name it. Name brand liquidations not only sells a huge variety of merchandise, they feature name brands just like their name says, at low prices. When you're in the market for anything, shop at the store that has everything. Name brand liquidations. Wishing the Berwick Bulldogs a great season.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLM.
This is Berwick football coach Carm DiFrancesco. You are listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio HLM.
Berwick Bulldog Football,
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick,
HLM.
Jim Doyle and Andy Linkney from Jim Roth Field in Tiger Stadium. We're at halftime. First half dominated by Southern Columbia. They lead Berwick 43-0 in the first meeting between these two programs since the 1965 season. You know, in 1992, Berwick's senior quarterback Ron Powers led the Bulldogs to an unbeaten state championship season. He went on to play at Notre Dame, where he set 20 school passing records. He's now in his second season as Notre Dame's associate athletic director. He describes his role in that position.
Well, in this role and having oversight of all of our operation, especially, anything that has to do with Notre Dame football off the field, it's cyclical to a degree, and it's ever changing as the world of college football is. So my focus certainly changes throughout the year and through these last couple of years, but and those focuses really revolve around future schedules, especially in the off season. That's a big part of what I look into, our future schedules and, which conferences we've played or which teams we played or where do we want to try to find a different game, 6, 8, 10, 12 years down the line. So that's a big part of it. Our budget, I oversee our budget for the football program, which is a heavy lift. There's a lot to that, and that's a really intense process. And our facilities, we're in the midst of updating our football facility here, and that was a big focus of my time this past off season. And so that was a little cyclical. That's not something that happens every year, but thinking about facility design and look and future and planning for that future. So that's been a big part of it. Those are three really big buckets that consume a lot of my time. And the rest of my time is really spent on the day-to-day and the year-to-year operation of the program, whether it be, the hiring process. This past off season, we hired 17 new people that interact with football to some degree, whether it's coaches or GAs or nutrition and strength. And the hiring process is big. Working on contracts and research and data for coaches' compensations and things like that. It takes a lot of my time. All the way to team travel and our contractual relationships with, our partners like Delta and, how we're doing with Under Armour and working with NBC on scheduling and broadcast ideas. And then all the way down to the itinerary. Now, fortunately, we have a fantastic director of football operations in Olivia Mitchell, who's been now doing this for a couple of years, and she gets a lot of the day-to-day assignments of our daily itinerary and dorms that we're in and out of at camp and things like that. But that all falls under my purview. So I work closely with making sure we're on track on a daily basis. So, there's things that are cyclical, there's things that are big buckets, and then there's things that come around every year, and then there's things we're dealing with adjusting on a daily basis.
Your oldest son graduated high school as a quarterback. He earned a full scholarship here at Notre Dame. He enrolled early, so he was able to take part in the spring game. From not a coach or an AD's point of view or former players, but just a dad, what did it feel like seeing him in a Notre Dame uniform in the spring?
Well, it was a thrill. I mean, obviously really, really proud of the work that he put in and the opportunity that was presented to him to be a part of the Notre Dame football team and the University of Notre Dame. But tremendous amount of pride to see him grow and develop and become a student athlete at Notre Dame. Nervous. Now I know what it was like for my dad to a degree, just like most dads watching their kids. I'm more nervous than he is, but it was a great sense of pride, a thrill for him, a thrill for our family. I mean, we're really excited that he's part of the program.
For the Notre Dame fans out there, give us a little preview of this upcoming season. It will be a great season for Notre Dame if what happens?
Well, I think we're replacing some really good players on both sides of the ball. I mean, a lot of focus on the offense, replacing Ian Book, who's the winningest quarterback in the history of Notre Dame, and, several offensive linemen that were part of, as good a crowd on the offensive line that we've had. On defense, there was some guys that were real impact players. It's filling in those holes and replacing those guys appropriately. Now, we are very much a program that develops their guys and puts people in a position to plug in, and we've done that. So I think you have a good football season and a really successful season if the guys you've prepared and the guys you've developed as backups have the ability to go in and fill some of those holes.
Former Berwick great Ron Powis, now in his second year as Associate Athletic Director at Notre Dame. He deals strictly with the football program. Ron and his wife Sarah have two sons. Tommy's still in high school, and Ron the third is now a freshman quarterback at Notre Dame. We're at halftime of the season opener with Southern Columbia leading Berwick 43-0. Stay tuned. We'll have scores of other games a little bit later in the half. Give you the scoring when we come back. There's been plenty of it in this opening half on the part of Southern Columbia. You're listening to Berwick Football on Sports Radio, HLM.
See the winning lineup of Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and quality pre-owned vehicles at Bear Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Berwick. They have a body shop and full service center servicing all makes and models, and they have been servicing your community for over 30 years. Bear Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram has earned the highest possible rating from Chrysler and the prestigious J.D. Power Award for excellence. Bear Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram Pine Street in Berwick proudly supports the Berwick Bulldogs. Go Dogs!
From the land of the free, the home of the brave, underwear's made in the USA. We'll never take a knee, we will always stand. We don't use sweatshirts from foreign lands. Support our troops every day. Wearing the American-made underwear. By far, American strong we are.
Underwear. No one is working harder to be your brand.
Forge Pub and Eatery on 11th and Mulberry in Berwick is where you need to go when you want a delicious homemade meal. Even the salad dressings are scratch made. Open every day at 11 with free delivery to the Berwick area. And check out their Facebook page to get the daily specials. They have a full bar, 10 beers on tap with 5 rotating seasonal brews, and an extensive selection of domestic and craft beers. It's the perfect place to go out with colleagues or for date night. Forge will always impress. Forge Pub and Eatery in Berwick is a proud supporter of the Berwick Bulldogs football team.
Riverview Block of Berwick, with over 75 years of service, can handle all your block and concrete needs. They carry all sizes of concrete block, including decorative EP Henry landscaping block. Their concrete is PennDOT approved and delivered with front discharge trucks. Riverview Block also carries masonry supplies, tools, cement, sand, and stone. For prompt delivery, call Riverview Block, 570-752-7191. Riverview Block is proud to support the Berwick Bulldogs.
This is Berwick football coach Carm DiFrancesco. You are listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio HLM.
Berwick Bulldog football.
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick.
HLM.
Halftime from Jim Roth Field in Tiger Stadium. Southern Columbia leading Berwick 43-0 at the half. Berwick actually got a break early. The second play from scrimmage from Southern Columbia, Braden Wislowski fumbled. Taiji Taylor recovered for the Bulldogs, but they weren't able to get on the board. And on the second possession for Southern Columbia, starting back, their own 15-yard line.
Prices are falling on all our vehicles during the fall sell-off event happening right now at Fairfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. It's Ram Power Days, so let's talk Ram trucks. We have over 100 of them on site ready for you to drive home. And you can get 0% for 60 months plus no payments for 90 days on select 2019 Rams or lease one for just $159. Jeeps, you won't find a better selection anywhere else. Lease a 2019 Grand Cherokee Laredo or a 2019 Cherokee Limited for just $199. So don't shop the rest. Shop the best. Come see the Kaiser Boys and experience for yourself the best selection, the best prices, and the best service and parts around. Fairfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Route 405 in Muncie or Route 11 in Danville. Fairfield for the best deals.
Leases are for 24, 36, and 42 months. $34.99 due at signing. Offers on select vehicles only for qualified buyers. Only must finance through Chrysler Capital. Offers end October 31st. See dealer for complete details.
Fairfield, you're gonna love us.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLM.
3-0. Lots of stats in that opening half. We'll get to Andy and those numbers when we return. You're listening to Bulldogs Football on Sports Radio, HLM.
The Mayo Funeral Homes, located at 110 Chestnut Street in Berwick and 77 Main Street in Chickasha, are proud sponsors of Berwick Bulldog Football. The Mayo Funeral Homes, serving all faiths, makes it easier for those you love with pre-arranged funeral counseling, insurance, and pre-financed funerals. Mayo Funeral Homes also offers expert guidance in both traditional and cremation services. Mayo Funeral Homes, perfection in every detail.
If you have a child that's interested in gymnastics, or if you've been practicing the sport for years, then Access Gymnastics Academy is where you want to be. Their dedicated coaches will teach you everything you need to know to perform your best, from the basics of flexibility, form, and style to advanced techniques that will improve your rhythm and style during a routine. Call Heidi Rebuck at Access Gymnastics Academy at 570-441-5969. That's 570-441-5969. Now enrolling for beginner to advanced classes at 917 East 7th Street in Bloomsburg.
Neighbor Fence Company has fencing for where you want it, serving Columbia, Montour, and Luzerne counties. Neighbor Fence provides top quality residential and commercial fencing, vinyl, chain link, wood, aluminum, and ornamental fencing, plus vinyl railing and specialty products. Neighbor Fence Company, 1140 State Route 239 in Wapwallopen. Call 570-752-4423 or visit them online at neighborfencecompany.com. Neighbor Fence Company is a proud sponsor of local youth athletic teams.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLM.
In local high school football tonight. At halftime, Loyalsock leads Bloomsburg 21-0. In the first, Central Columbia leads Midwest 7-0. That is delayed due to lightning. At halftime, Danville leads Mifflinburg 21-7. At halftime, Wyoming area leads Hazleton area 21-0. In the second, Dallas leads Valley View 7-6. At halftime, North Pocono leads Pittston area 30-0. In the second, Wyoming Valley West leads West Scranton 35-0. In the second, North Schuylkill leads Mount Carmel 7-0. In the second, Pottsville leads Selinsgrove 6-0. In the second, Central Mountain leads Shikellamy 6-0. And in the second, North Lehigh leads Muncie 21-7. For HLM Sports, I'm Raven Klein.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLM.
154 yards. Berwick has 39. Let's look at Berwick's 39. But you have to keep in perspective for those who, missed the early parts of the game. Berwick's top two running backs, Benny Noor and Aiden Mason, are both out. They had the potential to be an outstanding backfield, but because of COVID restrictions, unable to be able to play in this game. Can't dress, sitting at home. And that's a real knock on the offense. Ryan Bankus has looked good. I've been impressed. He's not a huge fellow, 5'7", 150-pound junior. And he's carried the ball 13 times. He's had a number of kick returns along with that. And he's managed 48 yards, and they've been tough yards to come by. Real gutty performance by Ryan Bankus. I like the talent. I like the way he quickly hits the holes. Has some speed on the outside, and that 48 positive yards is really the feature for Berwick. Matt Lonzinski, the quarterback, has trouble getting the passes off. Southern's front four and their blitzing linebackers have created problems when they're in long yardage situations. Lonzinski's been sacked on 2 occasions, is at minus 19. So the net is just 29 yards on 15 rushes in the running game. Lonzinski is 2 of 6, no interceptions and 10 yards. Trey Wilk caught a 7-yard pass, and Bo Sheptok caught a 3-yard pass. And again, it's been very tough. Southern Columbia has an outstanding talent, Derek Berlitz. And when you try to throw the quick passes that Berwick wants to throw in his direction, he's usually defeated the block, bull rushed back, and has the hands up where you have to throw over the 6'2 defender, and that's been very hard to do. So for Berwick, just 10 yards in the passing game, 29 in the running game, a total of 39 yards. For Southern Columbia, the wing tee is as advertised, 196 yards on the ground, 58 yards in the air, a total of 254. Let's look at the passing first. For Liam Claybon, a 40-yard completion to Jake Rose. Beautiful touch pass over the defender into the hands of Jake Rose with sort of a Willie Mays-style catch. 40 yards for him. And Gavin Garcia caught one and took it 18 yards for a touchdown. Now, we got to keep Gavin Garcia in perspective. That 18-yard touchdown was a beautiful play. You mentioned, Jim, the 60-yard punt return, which I think should top every highlight reel for the rest of the year. He had a beautiful 30 or 40-yard run called back on a sort of a backside play that didn't matter. So he's been a standout by what people are seeing on the field. But in the running game, the fellow who needed 200 yards in this game for 5,000 career yards has been held to 27 yards on 7 carries. And we don't know how much we'll see of him. Braden Wislowski has not been held, though. 92-yard touchdown burst, really showing the speed. Overall, 4 carries for 97 yards to lead all rushers. Wes Barnes has bumped his total up to 5 carries for 67 yards, doing so on the last play of the half with a beautiful touchdown run. Add in Matt Masala, 5-yard carry, and Liam Claybon, a 31-yard touchdown run. Suffered a little bit on a sack, so he's a net of 23 yards. Total all up, 196 on the ground on 17. Don't forget that punt return, though, by Gavin Garcia. 58 in the air, 254 on the half for Southern Columbia. Kind of their norm, Jim, going against a bit of a depleted Berwick team.
Andy, I think this is a big half for Berwick from this standpoint. You're going to lose the game, but you don't want to lose the season.
Yeah.
It's too early for that. If Berwick comes out and plays as hard as they did in the first half, and they did play hard, then, you get your reinforcements back for next week's game, and you turn the problems of last season around. But if you come out here and you're demoralized and it doesn't get any better, then that could lead to bad things.
Yeah, and I've been very pleased with some individual performance that I'm seeing. It's hard to put a whole team effort together against Southern Columbia. They're seeing some of the best talent they're going to see all year in many of these individual players. And as a team, they're not going to face anyone this tough again the rest of the year. But a lot of the Berwick players have played very strong games. They've, looked standout. They've Taiji Taylor, I thought Kishbach. I think Ryan Bankus is playing a game. I like what I've seen out of Tristan English. I like what I've been seeing out of Bo Sheptok, Trey Wilk. But it's hard to put it all together against Southern Columbia when any singular missed tackle can be a long touchdown.
Ready to go at the second half. Bulldogs will be moving from our right to our left to start this half. The second half kickoff goes high and short to the far side, to the 17, to the 20, the return back to about the 28-yard line. And that's where the Bulldogs will put it in play. We'll see how long Jim Roth goes with his first team, as we have an injury on that return.
Southern Columbia player pounding on the turf, not happy that he suffered a twisted ankle or a cramp or whatever it is. Right now, the training staff is working on him.
Usually most coaches with a big lead at halftime and they're in no danger of losing the game will like to at least have the first unit run a series. Sometimes not. I mean, it's not a case of them coming out on a very cold evening late in the year and having to stand around. You don't want that. And that's not a threat, obviously. So we'll see how Jim Roth plays it. But the fact is that he, as a head coach, has had this decision so many times in recent years. It's just incredible.
Yeah, Mike Zito's the player who was down, and he's up, and he's semi-jogging off the field, Jim. From the far side over here to the near side, they'd like him to hustle it up. He doesn't have that total jog in him yet. Giving it a fast walk.
And again, a lot of times early in the season, when it's warm and humid as it is here this evening, you'll see the cramps. I mean, coaches will stress to the players, you have to have those liquids.
Pickle juice.
Yeah, but sometimes just not enough.
Any liquid, yep.
So here we go. Berwick with possession of the football at their own 28-yard line. Matt Lunzinski is the quarterback. Gives to the man who's been the workhorse this game for the Bulldogs, Ryan Bankus, straight ahead for 2, maybe 3.
Took it up the middle. One of the linemen for Berwick lost his shoe during the course of the play, putting it on. Getting back into the huddle is Gavin Cunningham.
Second down and 8. Berwick at their own 30-yard line.
50 yards now for Ryan Bankus, Jim, and I think he's going to continue to get the action. They're just depleted at that position. Don't have many other options. He may have a 100-yard game till this one's done.
Taiji Taylor lines up on a wing to the left, now out of the gun. Lunzinski a quick out to the far side and goes through the receiver's hands at the 25-yard line, incomplete.
You see how hard Berlitz was coming, though, from that defensive end. Swim move around the tackle, quick spin, and at really the same parallel where he wants to throw that football, Berlitz is coming at the quarterback. He is amazing.
And Bulldogs will face a lot of good teams this season, including the Comets of Crestwood, who will come in to Crispin Field next week for the home opener. They may not see a better specimen at defensive end for the rest of this season than they're seeing tonight in Derek Berlitz. Second down, 8. Berwick at their own 30-yard line. Lunzinski, the junior, awaits the shotgun snap from Bruce Hartman. He has it. He's back to throw, and he fires over the middle. He has a completion. No, incomplete. Good throw by Matt Lunzinski to Bo Sheptock, but the hit is what knocked it free.
Yeah, I believe it was Garrett Garcia, the linebacker, who came up. The Sheptock was sort of curling over the middle. Ball put at the numbers, the ball in there, but Jim, I wasn't going to hold on to that one, I'll tell you. One of those hits through the man where you just can't hold on to the ball.
4th and 8, Berwick. Benny Knorr, one of the 4 players not available to the Bulldogs tonight. Normally their punter. Dre Wilk has been doing it all. Good snap by Hartman. The kick is away. Line drive kick out of bounds in Berwick territory. So considering Gavin Garcia back there, it's a very, very effective punt. However, Southern Columbia, with those great return people, they always end up in good field position, even when they don't get the spectacular return. And here's a good example at their own 42.
That one had a little bit more depth than I thought. It's about where Garcia was standing in the middle of the field, but he was kicking toward the sideline to prevent the return.
And the Tigers now will bring out the backup to start this second half on the offensive end. Trevor Yorks will be in there at a running back position. Matt Masala is in there. Tyler Arnold, a 6'1", 185-pound junior, is the quarterback from the 42-yard line.
Ball.
Fumble on the attempted exchange. but Southern able to get on it.
Yeah.
Second down coming.
Lineman turning around. Gabe Leffler coming around and getting on that football.
Second down and 12 for the Tigers. Jaden Conklin, a junior, number 30, is in that offense as Arnold under center from the 40-yard line. Man in motion. Motion man gets the call and nothing doing. Good defense.
Yes, it
by
was.
Berwick's Evan Meehan, number 27, making the stop. The gain is 1 to the 41-yard line.
Evan Meehan played in a lot of different roles during their scrim, and we're expecting to see him in different positions in this game. There he's coming up very visibly on the tackle. Which running back was that, Jim?
I wish I knew. Third down and 11 for Southern Columbia from their 41-yard line. Arnold. See if they'll let him go to the air on third down and 11. Fumbles the snap. Scramble is on, and Southern Columbia able to get on it. So the backups do not have a very good series in their first appearances of the 2021 season. And it'll be fourth down and 12, and punting situation for the Tigers. Let's see if they'll put the... This is where it gets tricky with small rosters on a high school level. You know, you have the whole subs in, but you almost have to put your first string in to do the punting.
Yeah.
But you don't really have separate special teams units.
Not at this point in the season. Once they start playing some JV games, then you'll have those units ready. But especially where you're just down to one scrimmage game to prep for the season, you don't have that much depth ready to go in punting units.
Claybon is in there to do the punting, and Southern Columbia, not enough people, will be forced to use the timeout. 7:08 remaining, third quarter, 43-0 Southern Columbia. You're listening to Bulldogs Football and Sports Radio, HLM.
Hi, this is Cassidy from the Independence Ford Service Department, Route 11 in Bloomsburg. Does your Ford or Lincoln vehicle need service? Having trouble getting an appointment at your usual service center? At Independence Ford, we can and will take care of all your service needs. Regardless of where you purchase your Ford or Lincoln vehicle, our goal is to get you back on the road. Give me a call for an appointment today at 784-1414.
Come and get a great deal and total satisfaction.
Independence Ford, better people, better prices.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLM.
This is Berwick football coach Carm DiFrancesco. You are listening to Bulldogs Football on Sports Radio HLM.
Berwick Bulldog Football,
WHLM Bloomsburg, WBWX Berwick,
HLM.
Following the timeout, Southern Columbia will punt it away. Claybon, a line drive kick and a diving catch by Bulldog at the 30-yard line, preventing that kick from going a long way. Braden Boone goes down and gets it. The Bulldogs will put it in play with 7:02 to go in the third quarter, looking to get on the board, trailing Southern Columbia by a score of 43-0.
Pace is slowed down a little bit, Jim, with some of the substitutions forcing the timeout. Even though they went back to a lot of the starters in the punting unit, not everyone was ready. Southern probably short a man, forced to use that timeout. Berwick huddling on the side, sending their unit out now.
And again, we are in the mercy rule mode with Southern Columbia with that 43-0 lead. Slot to the left side for the Bulldogs. Wanzinski has the snap, back to throw, fires too low for his intended target, Dre Wilk, at the 40-yard line. Incomplete pass, and again that clock continues to run since we are in the mercy rule. Tyler Arnold checking in defensively for Southern Columbia. Gavin Krebs will come in as well. Tigers have done a lot of substituting.
Nate Sorosky, an outside linebacker. Logan Sharrow in there at defensive end. We've seen him in the first half.
Slot to the left. 2nd and 10 Bulldogs. Lunzinski, a quick out to the far side. Wide receiver screen, and it's good over the 36 to the 37-yard line.
That was number 6, Rowan Slipinski, who made the catch, Jim. Berwick wants to run that play a lot, but we've been mentioning Berlitz. Derek Berlitz is taking it away with his quick pass rush and getting the hands up. Bit of a sideways pass. One receiver blocks the corner, and then you hope that Slabinski can break a tackle or two. Worked nicely for 5 yards there.
Third down, about 5 for the Bulldogs from their 35. Bonzinski back to throw, fires on then away over the head of his intended target, Dre Wilk. 4th down and 5 for the Bulldogs. One would think from their 35 it would be a punting situation, and now they do bring on the other personnel.
And like Southern Columbia, forced to use a lot of the first half starters who had been sitting, normally would have been out there. But again, you're just not with the JV unit as a punt team yet this early in the season.
Dre Wilk back to do the punting, standing back at the Bulldogs' 23-yard line. Snap, kick is away. Runner comes up and makes a nice catch before he's ridden out of bounds over midfield at the 49-yard line.
Yeah, Southern Columbia's Loudon Murphy, Jim.
He's
Murphy name.
Backup running back on this team. You know what, among the amazing things on the part of Southern Columbia is that even with a roster, which is very small for them this year, under 40, they still do not have one player that's on the field for every snap, a two-way player, full-time two-way player. It's just incredible they're able to do that.
No one two-way offensively and defensively, and of course sometimes when players do that, they get a break at least on punting and kickoff and those. But Southern doesn't have any two ways that are just offense or defense. They managed to rotate them. It's part of their philosophy.
And now the third quarterback for Southern Columbia, sophomore Blake Wise. Gives straight ahead, a carry for a couple to the Berwick 48-yard line. They really like Blake Wise as Matt Masala picks up 2. He is a young kid who attends a lot of quarterback camps, really wants to be good at the position, and might be their future at the quarterback spot. The problem right now is he needs a couple of milkshakes. As he listed at 145, may not be that.
Yeah, but the frame's there, Jim. The frame's there.
2nd down and 8. Southern Columbia at the Berwick 48-yard line. Give off the left side to Trevor Yorks, and he's brought down right at the line of scrimmage.
2 plays in a row where Berwick's Landon Rubenstein has made the hits, and he's making them very aggressively. I like the movement I'm seeing here against Southern's second unit.
He and his twin brother Dakota transferring from Hanover in their first year at Berwick, as Kyle Christman brings in a play from the sideline for Southern Columbia as they face 3rd down and 8 at the Berwick 48-yard line. Wise is back to throw. They're going to let the sophomore throw, and he completes the pass to Christman short of the sticks at the 43-yard line. Rowan Slabinski makes a nice tackle in the open field for the Bulldogs.
Have to add Kyle Christman to my roster of receivers. That was nice.
So Wise in his first pass is a varsity player. Completes it. Looks good doing it. And will probably stay in there. Southern Columbia has a 4th and 2 at the Berwick 42-yard line. Quick moving third quarter. Again, we're in the mercy rule mode with Southern Columbia holding that big lead. We're already under 2 minutes here in the third. So here we go. 4th and 2. See what the young quarterback can come up with. Or maybe a pooch kick. That's what it's going to be. Kick is very, very short, but takes a generous roll where Southern Columbia is concerned. Goes out of bounds about the Berwick 20-yard line. So they had Wise in the shotgun. Pooches the kick, and Berwick will get the football.
You know, if I'm in for my first snaps ever on this field against a Berwick team, throw my first pass, get it complete, I'm feeling nice, but I have those butterflies, Jim, and now you're going to ask me to punt the ball from 5 yards deep. That's asking a lot of the guy.
Well, he came through with the roll.
Yes, he did.
And the Bulldogs have it as we will go under a minute remaining in this third quarter. from the 20-yard line. And that is Wonzinski, quick hitter to Wilk. Nice effort after the catch by Dre Wilk, who'll pick up 5 to the 25-yard line.
And that's a big part of the Berwick offensive system, that quick hitting thing, and let the receivers try to shake loose. Southern had 3 people, in the zone around him that all kind of narrowed on in. But the execution was there, and Berwick will take 5 yards on a first down play.
We talked about the devastating injuries that Berwick suffered a year ago. None worse than the one to Dre Wilk, who missed most of the season. Valuable two-way player. Second down. Wonzinski to Wilk again. This time a little too hard. He goes through the hands of Dre. Incomplete at the 26-yard line.
Got to make that pass. There wasn't the pressure there.
And that is the end of the third quarter play. No scoring in the period, but after 3, Southern Columbia 43, Berwick nothing. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio, HLM.
From the land of the free, the home of the brave, underwear's made in the USA. We'll never take a knee, we will always stand. We don't use sweatshirts from foreign lands. Support our troops every day. Wearing the American-made underwear. By far, making strong we are. Underwear.
Underwear. No one is working harder to be your brand.
Forge Pub and Eatery on 11th and Mulberry in Berwick is where you need to go when you want a delicious homemade meal. Even the salad dressings are scratch-made. Open every day at 11 with free delivery to the Berwick area. And check out their Facebook page to get the daily specials. They have a full bar, 10 beers on tap with 5 rotating seasonal brews, and an extensive selection of domestic and craft beers. It's the perfect place to go out with colleagues or for date night. Forge will always impress. Forge Pub and Eatery in Berwick is a proud supporter of the Berwick Bulldogs football team.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLM.
Fast-moving second half with the mercy rule in effect. We start the final period, Berwick moving from our left to our right, facing a 3rd down and 5 at their own 25-yard line.
Watch the sideways pass for the 3rd time in a row.
Wonzinski has the snap. He's looking across the middle, and he has his man. It's Taiji Taylor for a first down out the 35-yard line. Nice throw.
Yep.
And a good grab by Taiji Taylor.
Stood tall in the pocket. He was afforded the protection that he needed back there. Good tall quarterback. Strong arm down the middle to Taiji Taylor. Nice target at 6'3". Makes a sure-handed catch and was sure he was past the chains.
Pickup of 10 on the play. 1st and 10. Bulldogs at their own 35-yard line. Nick Pajovich is in the lineup. He is one of 2 receivers to the left. As Lusinski has the snap, gives to Ryan Bankus, just tripped up as he gets over the 41-yard line. Looked like he might be off to the races.
Not by design. He was going for the handoff about the same time the quarterback touched the ball on the shotgun snap. Hit between the left guard and the left tackle in the C gap, and someone's foot just happened to be in the way, Jim. Not an arm, not a tackler, but he just couldn't high step that, or he'd have had a lot more.
2nd down and 4. Berwick at their own 41-yard line. Josh Kishbaugh is in as a wide receiver to the right. There's a slot to the left. Wonzinski gives to Bankus. Bankus tries to spin away from a tackler, cannot. Gets out to the 43, picks up a couple. 3rd down call coming.
Been a workhorse. 60 yards on the game now. 13, 14, 15, 16 carries for Berwick, as they've been mixing the pass and the run in their last few drives rather effectively.
Looks like we are going to dodge weather issues here at Jim Roth Field at Tiger Stadium. We are in the 4th quarter. 10 minutes to go. There's been problems around the region. Crestwood and Williamsport had a long delay. Mount Carmel had a delay because of the weather. Not here. Not a drop yet. Call goes straight ahead. Second effort, just short of the 1st down yardage.
Catch the number. Is that DeAndre? Number 33? Yes, that would be, wouldn't it, Jim? James DeAndrea. I tried to get the pronunciation right.
Just
Asked
two
the
syllables.
coach, asked him 2 syllables?
3. Deandra. Fourth down, less than a yard. It was a hard run by him, just short of the sticks. And he remains the running back to the right of the quarterback. Deandra gets the call off the left side, the first down, and then some. Out to the 49-yard line.
Singleton back, shotgun snap. He takes it off the left side, and it looks like it's going to go in the B gap. But he designs it where he's going to bounce it out further, turn it into more of a sweeping action. As soon as he gets wide, turns it north-south. Make sure he got the chains and got a good 5-6 yard gain. Nice, smart run.
Yeah, give him 7 out to midfield. 1st and 10. Bulldogs. Slot to the right side. Linsinski has the snap. Flags down the play. Deandra hit hard as he gets to the Southern Columbia 47.
But he was met in the backfield, spun underneath that, got his head free, got north and south, and turned it into a 3-yard gain. Now there's an illegal shift, was it, Jim?
Illegal procedure against the Bulldogs. And I'll tell you what, for an opening game, and again, you only get one preseason scrimmage, there has not been a lot of flags.
No, there hasn't, and that's even among these number 2s and 3s for both teams that we're seeing. Well played.
1st and 15 after the penalty. Berwick back at their own 45-yard line. Linsinski gives straight ahead. Ryan Bankus, good second effort over midfield to the Southern Columbia 49-yard line as we go to under 8 minutes remaining.
Actually, Deandra again, Jim, and we've changed quarterbacks. Ethan Lear is now taking the snaps. I like what I saw of him in the Berwick scrimmage. Deandra has been impressing me with his power and smarts as a runner.
Ethan Lear is just a sophomore, 6 foot, 170-pounder. 2nd and 9 from the Southern Columbia 49. Lear hands off, and it'll be a loss on the play.
Real nice play. Tyler Arnold getting some defensive action there, Jim, from linebacker. Read the play well, came up hard, and made the tackle in the backfield.
Loss of 2 on the play. 3rd down, and about 14 for Berwick. Back at their 47-yard line. Bulldogs trying to get on the board before this one runs out. We're going to go under 7 minutes remaining in this quick-moving second half. They come to the line of scrimmage, their own 47. See if they let Ethan Lear go to the air. Deandra is to his right. Snap. Handoff to Deandra. Tries the left side over midfield. Has some running room down that left sideline. Very close to the first down. Strong run by Jimmy Deandra.
He took the handoff after shotgun. Started left. But again, it looks like he's going to turn it north-south immediately. Let it go more toward a sweeping action, then north-south on the sideline. So a combination of speed and then power to finish. Apparently he stepped out a little sooner, Jim. I thought he was right at the change. He's going to be about 4 yards short.
He got 10 yards on the carry. Here is a 4th down and 3 for Berwick. Maybe their last best chance to get on the board as we go under 6 minutes to go in the game. 4th down call from the Southern Columbia 43-yard line. Lear hands off, straight ahead, and looking to get the first down yardage.
Ryan Bankus that time, fresh. Hasn't had to carry in the last 6 or 7 plays. Inserted here. And how close are we? They're going to move the chains.
So he needed 3. He got exactly 3.
Really knifed in there well, Jim. That attitude of, I need to make this. I'm going straight ahead. They have to make a hole for me. And knifed on through well.
At the Southern Columbia 40. Bankus to the left of Linsinski. Bankus gets the call off the right side. He's inside the Southern Columbia 35-yard line. Good first down carry by Ryan Bankus. Picks up 6 on the play.
69 yards on the game. I mentioned he had the potential for 100, and I think you're going to see a lot of him here in this next few plays.
Braden Wislowski almost had 100 on one carry in this game.
Yeah.
92-yarder in that first half.
That's doing it the easy way.
Second down call. Berwick at the Tiger 34-yard line. Pajovich wide to the right. Ethan Lear awaits the shotgun snap. He has it, fakes handoff, keeps the football, gets outside looking for the sticks, and he's hit hard, I think short of the first down yardage.
Kyle Crispin came over and I thought kept him just inside the chain. Showed a little hesitancy, like he wasn't sure if he wanted to sprint inside or out. Made up his mind and then ran with confidence. But he'll be about half a yard shy.
Third down and 1. Berwick trying to get on the board. They have it at the Southern Columbia 31-yard line, under 4 minutes remaining in this game. Slot to the right side, wide receiver left. Ethan Lear gives to Bankus. Ryan Bankus with a strong effort has the first down and then some.
Yes, he does. Another 5-6 yards, exploding as he touches the ball. Runs through the hole with confidence. Gets a good 6 yards on that. Give him 75 on the game now.
Ball at the Southern Columbia 26-yard line. Clock running with 3:24 remaining in the game. Bankus will now get a breather. As the Tigers come to the line of scrimmage. The Tiger 26. Pajovich wide left. Slot to the right. Deandra is the running back to the right of Ethan Lear. Out of the shotgun. Has the snap. Fakes handoff. Keeps the football himself. Hit behind the line and brought down for a loss to 33-yard line. Terrific defense by Southern Columbia.
Jake Hoyt came up and was high on him up around his shoulders. He took on a straight arm that just wasn't quite forceful enough. Ethan Lear doesn't quite have those type of arms. It's going to shiver a man away. And Hoyt made a nice little takedown there.
Loss of 6. Second and 16 for Berwick at the Southern Columbia 32-yard line. Tigers back up, trying to preserve the shutout with 2:14 remaining. See if they let Lear go to the air. Slot to the left. Kitchbaugh. Josh Kitchbaugh wide to the right. Handoff off the left side, and nothing doing at the 32-yard line. Lost the play. Tyler Winter got the carry for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, they inserted him. A number we haven't seen that much in this game. Tried to use the wide side of the field, but Tigers being stingy defensively.
Third down and 16 for the Bulldogs at their 32-yard line. Berwick's home opener next Friday against the Comets of Crestwood, the defending District 2 Quad A champions. Southern Columbia be on the road at Bloomsburg. You'll hear both of those games on the WHLM stations next Friday night. Winter stays in there. He's to the right of Ethan Lear. Third and long. Long count. Lear fakes to Winter, keeps the football, and will get maybe a yard to the 31-yard line.
I understand the design of the play, fake to the run back, and then the quarterback takes it a hold inside. But these guys haven't had the repetitions. We mentioned the starters get the repetitions in these sort of shortened preseasons now. And the execution just wasn't as sharp as you'd like it to be, and that'll come with time.
Fourth and long. Berwick at the Southern Columbia 30. Maybe the last play of this football game. Under 30 seconds to play. Slot to the left, wide receiver right. Lear has the snap. Hands off. The winner breaks a tackler 2, gets down to the 21-yard line. It'll bring up a fourth down. Berwick will not use a timeout, and that will do it. Our final score, in this season opener. Southern Columbia extends their regular season winning streak to 89 as they defeat the Bulldogs 43-0. Back with the scoring and stats. You're listening to Bulldogs Football and Sports Radio, HLN.
It won't be long before tax time rolls around, so remember to visit Michael Daddio CPA at ND Accounting and Consulting for your income tax needs. ND Accounting and Consulting handles both business and individual taxes, as well as offering a variety of accounting services, including payroll, auditing, and bookkeeping. For tax and accounting services, look for Michael Daddio CPA at ND Accounting and Consulting with 2 locations, 214 Pine Street in Berwick and 5929 Main Road in Sweet Valley.
The Medicine Shop.
The Berwick Medicine Shop at their new location. 500 Fowler Avenue, Berwick has your favorite pharmacist team, like Kim, who you've trusted for more than 20 years, and they've gotten even better. Free blister packs, free home delivery with no tips, and less than a 15-minute average wait time on prescriptions. Why would you go to the big box pharmacies where you might wait for days? Go to the name you know and trust, the Medicine Shop of Berwick, and follow their Facebook page. Berwick Medicine Shop proudly supports the Berwick Bulldogs.
Don's Towing on Route 11 in Bloomsburg can handle any tow, whether it's a car or big rig, 24/7. Don's has roadside assistance, and your satisfaction is their priority. They always have a truck available, and you'll never wait more than 20 minutes to be picked up and on your way again. Don't let a flat tire ruin your day. Don's Towing will help you get where you need to go without breaking the bank. They accept all insurances, and those that pay out of pocket will appreciate their low prices. Don's Towing, Route 11, Bloomsburg, or check out their Facebook page.
Lehigh Valley Health Network has some great news for residents of Greater Hazleton and surrounding communities. LVPG, Hazleton Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, is now located in the Humboldt Industrial Park at Station Circle in Hazel Township. Their orthopedics and sports medicine experts provide complete orthopedic care and accept most insurances, including Geisinger Gold. LVPG, Hazleton Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, your partners in orthopedic care. To learn more, visit lvhn.org/orthopedics or call 570-861-8710.
Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas of Berwick, are your roofing experts for Luzerne, Columbia, and Montour counties. With 26 years of experience and great rates, why go anywhere else when Red's Roofing will get the job done right for your decks, siding, or roofing, specializing in metal and rubber shingles. Most roofing work is done in one day, so remember the name, Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas. Call Red's Roofing, 752-4351. Owner Harry Titus, a proud supporter of the Berwick football team.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLN.
Southern Columbia 43 and Berwick nothing. Bulldogs had perhaps their best scoring opportunity very early in the game. First possession for Southern Columbia. They lost a fumble. Taiji Taylor recovered for the Tigers in Berwick territory at the 42-yard line, but Southern Columbia got nothing going. They would have the ball in Berwick territory one more time in the first half, but not able to get on the board. Southern Columbia used some big plays. Their second possession, the Tigers went 7 plays, 87 yards. There was a 40-yard pass from Liam Klebon to Jake Rose, and then Klebon on a 4th and 9 was almost sacked, scrambled beautifully, and raced 31 yards for the touchdown. Gavin Garcia ran for the 2-point conversion. Southern Columbia took an 8-0 lead. And that 87-yard drive on their second possession is the Independence Ford drive of the game. Later in that opening quarter, Southern Columbia backed up to their own 8-yard line, but then they proved that speed kills on the football field. Braden Wislowski got the handoff, swept left, and the state's 100-meter state champion outraced the Berwick secondary 92 yards for the score. Liam Klebon then threw to Gavin Garcia for the 2-point conversion. Tigers going for 2 for the most part, since their kicker, Isaac Carter, not available tonight. So they had a 16-0 lead. That held up after one quarter. And then in the second quarter, the play of the night. Gavin Garcia returned a punt from the Tiger 40-yard line and just put on a series of moves, power moves, running over tacklers. Just a spectacular return, leaving would-be tacklers in his wake on a 60-yard punt return touchdown. Claiborne then to Jake Rose for the 2-point conversion. 24-0 Tigers, 9:46 to go in the second. Then with 5:25 to go in that second, after a short punt, Claiborne capped a 5-play, 41-yard drive with an 18-yard screen pass to Gavin Garcia. Garcia's second touchdown of the game. Claiborne this time kicked the extra point. Southern led 31-0. Later, Tigers got a fumble recovery from Connor Gallagher at the Berwick 10. 2 plays later, Gavin Garcia in from the 9-yard line for the score. Garcia's 3rd touchdown of the night, the 93rd of his career. The run for the extra point failed, but Southern extended their lead to 37-0. And then on the final play of the first half, Wes Barnes went 16 yards for a touchdown. Southern Columbia took a knee. They extended the halftime lead to 43-0. Subs came on in the second half, and there was no scoring either way. So our final is Southern Columbia 43 and Berwick 0. We'll take a look at the stats in tonight's game when we return. You're listening to Bulldogs Football and Sports Radio, HLN.
From the land of the free, the home of the brave, underwear's made in the USA. We'll never take a knee, we will always stand. We don't use sweatshirts from foreign lands. Support our troops every day. Wearing the American made underwear. Back off. American strong we are. Underwear.
Underwear. No one is working harder to be your brand.
Neighbor Fence Company has fencing for where you want it, serving Columbia, Montour, and Luzerne counties. Neighbor Fence provides top-quality residential and commercial fencing, vinyl, chain link, wood, aluminum, and ornamental fencing, plus vinyl railing and specialty products. Neighbor Fence Company, 1140 State Route 239 in Wapwallopen. Call 570-752-4423 or visit them online at neighborfencecompany.com. Neighbor Fence Company is a proud sponsor of local youth athletic teams.
Hi, this is Cassidy from the Independence Ford Service Department, Route 11 in Bloomsburg. Does your Ford or Lincoln vehicle need service? Having trouble getting an appointment at your usual service center? At Independence Ford, we can and will take care of all your service needs. Regardless of where you purchase your Ford or Lincoln vehicle, our goal is to get you back on the road. Give me a call for an appointment today at 784-1414.
Come and get a great deal on total satisfaction.
Independence Ford, better people, better prices.
The Medicine Shop.
The Berwick Medicine Shop at their new location. 500 Fowler Avenue, Berwick has your favorite pharmacist team, like Kim, who you've trusted for more than 20 years, and they've gotten even better. Free blister packs, free home delivery with no tips, and less than a 15-minute average wait time on prescriptions. Why would you go to the big box pharmacies where you might wait for days? Go to the name you know and trust, the Medicine Shop of Berwick, and follow their Facebook page. Berwick Medicine Shop proudly supports the Berwick Bulldogs.
Welsh's Towing and Repair proudly supports the Berwick Bulldogs and wishes them a successful year. Welsh's Towing and Repair has a long tradition of helping. You can call Welsh's 24/7 at 759-9737 if you are in need of a tow, jump start, tire change, are locked out, or to request them on scene if you're in an accident. Welsh's accepts all major insurance and motor clubs, and they offer all types of preventive maintenance and state inspections for cars, trucks, and motorcycles. Welsh's Towing and Repair, South Mercer Street in Berwick, and at their South Center Storage Facility, Columbia Boulevard in Berwick.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLN.
And I have it now. 286 yards on the night for Southern Columbia. They only added about 30 yards in the second half. And for Berwick, a total of 115 yards. Let's look at Berwick. I was impressed with Ryan Bankus throughout this game. 2 days ago, probably had no expectation of being the starting back or the singleton back or the only back who was going to get the meaningful carries in the course of the game. And he played like a trooper. 19 carries along with numerous kick and punt returns. 75 yards against Southern Columbia. And, you know, most of that coming against the first team. I thought it was a very impressive game. 75 yards for Ryan Bankus in this game on 19 carries is impressive. Jimmy DeAndre, I thought, had a nice look. Where's number 33, a fullback sort. Ran a number of plays, 5 in all, breaking to the left side and then getting north and south. 22 yards on 5 carries. Tyler Winter had 2 carries for 10. And then it goes to the quarterbacks. Ethan Lear, 3 carries for -3. Matt Lonzinski suffered a couple sacks, 2 on -19 then for his rushing total. Berwick would have had 107 positive yards, but take away the 22 against the quarterbacks, and it's a net of 85 yards in the running game. In the air, they were 5 of 14 with no interceptions and just a net of 30 yards. Trey Wilk caught 2 of the passes for 12 yards. Taiji Taylor caught a 10-yarder. Rowan Slabinski, he caught a 5-yard pass. And Bo Sheptok, who had a nice game defensively, chipped in with a 3-yard catch. 30 in the air for Berwick, 85 on the ground, a total of 115 against Southern Columbia. The Tigers just keep on winning. Their big 3, Gavin Garcia, Wislowski, and Barnes, proved unstoppable in the wing T. The wing T had 196 yards at halftime with the seconds finishing the game up. They finished with 223 in all, so only adding about 25, 30 yards in the second half to the rushing total. They did have 63 yards in the air. One was completed by Blake Wise, the young quarterback, a 5-yard pass caught by Kyle Christman. And then Liam Claiborne, I have as 2 of 6, a 40-yard pass to Jake Rose, and then a screen pass, 18-yard touchdown to Gavin Garcia. Can't ignore Gavin Garcia's production in areas beyond just the running back. The 18-yard touchdown reception, a 60-yard punt return. And here in the course of the game, well, his tallies are just 7 carries for 27 yards. Very pedestrian output for him. A man who was 200 yards off of the 5,000 mark for his career coming in. We'll probably see that milestone reached in a game or 2. Braden Wislowski, he broke the big one, a 92-yard touchdown run using that incredible speed, best in the state, as proven by his track championship. In all, 4 carries for 97 yards. Wes Barnes, no slouch either in the backfield. 5 carries, 67 yards for him. Matt Masala had a number of carries. I counted 3 for 9. I might have missed 1 or so where numbers got obscured. And Liam Claiborne in the backfield, 2 carries, 23 yards. A 31-yard touchdown run, and then a few negatives on a sack. So I have a total of 20 carries for 223 yards, but Southern had 196 at halftime. In the passing game, we mentioned 63 yards, 3 receivers with those catches. Add them up, and it's 286 yards for Southern Columbia in their victory. Jim?
Bulldogs playing short-handed tonight.
Yep.
Boy, even full-handed, it's a tough night against Southern Columbia. Short-handed, it's almost impossible. It proved to be just that tonight as Southern Columbia wins it handily, 43-0. We'll wrap things up from Jim Roth Field at Tiger Stadium. You're listening to Bulldogs Football on Sports Radio, HLM.
Northeast Pennsylvania, it's your home. And no matter what stage of life you find yourself in, what you rely on most is security. When that house becomes a home, the moment you get that new car, when your dreams become a reality, it's times like this when you have to look to the experts for advice and financial peace of mind. They're there with innovative products and services to help you with your financial future every step of the way. Together, they will help dreams and goals become reality. They are more than a bank. They're your neighbor. They are First Keystone Community Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Yannick Real Estate is your full-service real estate agency. Buying, selling, residential, commercial, multifamily, land, and rental management. Call Yannick Real Estate. Owner Mike Yannick, a veteran himself, served his country and has been serving this area for decades. Mike and his staff will guide you through the real estate process. Veterans, be sure to check the VA loan options. Yannick Real Estate, your full-service real estate agency. 1232 West Front Street in Berwick. Call 759-3300.
Lehigh Valley Health Network has some great news for residents of Greater Hazelton and surrounding communities. LVPG, Hazelton Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, is now located in the Humboldt Industrial Park at Station Circle in Hazel Township. Their orthopedics and sports medicine experts provide complete orthopedic care and accept most insurances, including Geisinger Gold. LVPG, Hazelton Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, your partners in orthopedic care. To learn more, visit lvhn.org/orthopedics or call 570-861-8710.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLM.
In local high school football, lots of weather delays. In the third quarter, Loyalsock leads Bloomsburg 21-0. In the second, Central Columbia leads Midwest 14-7. In the third, Danville leads Mifflinburg 21-7. In the third, Williamsport leads Crestwood 12-7. In the third, Valley View leads Dallas 19-7. In the fourth, Wyoming area leads Hazleton area 35-7. In the fourth, Pittston area leads North Pocono leads Pittston area 30-0. In the fourth, Wyoming Valley West leads West Scranton 42-6. And in the third, North Schuylkill and Mount Carmel are tied at 7. For HLM Sports, I'm Raven Klein.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLM.
Kickoff field at Tiger Stadium. Southern Columbia's next outing on the road at Bloomsburg next Friday night. That'll be the WHLM game of the week. For the Bulldogs, they will be home against the Comets of Crestwood. 7 o'clock kickoff. We hope you'll join us for the broadcast of that one from Crispin Field. It'll start, as usual, on a Friday night at 6 o'clock with the Coach DeFrancesco show. A final again from here, Southern Columbia 43, Berwick nothing. Randy Ulickney and our producer Raven Klein. This is Jim Doyle reminding you heard it live on Sports Radio HLM.